Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. I sure do appreciate it. It has been a while since we have played, so if Andy wants to go ahead and take things over, my man.
Hello. Yeah, it's been a full month already since.
Flew by.
Uh, yeah, it has flew by. Done a lot of things in between here and now. So yeah, welcome back to Path of Contrition, our Warhammer 40K Dark Heresy actual play. Um, where in the previous session, you guys were sent down onto the planet surface of Notara Prime, the capital planet of the Notara star system. Um, the Notara expansion, which has only recently been brought back into the loving embrace of the Imperium of Man, if we can call it that. Um, you have been informed that there are still humans who are native to the system, or as native as humans can get to the system. Uh, most of whom have either been sent to the Penile planet or those who submitted to the Emperor's grace have been allowed to, live on the planet's surface. It's to a group of these individuals on Notara Prime, which is a large agro world, which is an agricultural world in the Imperium, to investigate why their tithes to the God Emperor have been short over the last few years that they've been expected to provide them. You came to the conclusion that the tithe of um, agricultural resources came from a specific region of the world, and that it was not just the agricultural resources that these people were failing to deliver to the Emperor's base. The mortal tithe, the tithe of humans, usually sent to bolster the ranks of the Imperial Guard or planetary defense forces and the like throughout the galaxy, have not been met again within this one region of the planet, on the planet's southern continent. When you arrived on the space station around the planet, you were greeted by administrators for the planetary governor, the system governor, who took you down to the planet's surface to the region that you wanted to head to. You found that on the surface, everything looked prosperous. All the crops were growing well, maybe too well. And on closer inspection, you found that within the otherwise healthy looking crops and vegetables and fruit and the like, there were swarms of maggots that would spill out whenever you maybe tore some of them open or knocked them to the ground. And it led you to investigate and head to the nearest settlement. On the road, you encountered a pair of farmers, an old man and his son or grandson, maybe, on the road. The grandson or son got really upset when Fars Aurelian took one of the sheafs of corn from the field and broke it open and started to stomp on the maggots that were within, uh, proclaiming that he was harming the father's gifts to them all, which, being members of the Inquisition and good, faithful supporters of the Emperor and the Imperial Creed, led you to blowing the young man's head off and beating his father to death in the middle of a field. All run the mill stuff for the dark, grim future of the 41st millennium. Uh,
As we
and
call it, a
pretty much
Tuesday.
brings us to the point that we're at now. You're standing here on this little dirt road and amongst all these corrupted fields, with two dead bodies.
Before we get into it, Omni, where can people find that banger ass music we played as an intro?
Yes, just so you all are aware, the music was a song known as if I can actually get this thing to work properly, made by a guy by the name of Scott Buckley, who is an awesome content creator and has been kind enough to put up the entirety of his musical works into the Creative Commons and a Creative Commons library specifically for content creators. I will post a link in the chat if you're interested or you're looking for some sick music. March of Midnight was what we were using, and it's just good stuff. I swear by the guy's altar, and I'll return it to you guys.
Thanks, Omni. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no worries, Chief.
Oh, yeah. Fading into you guys on this dirt road, in this field, with these two dead farmers.
Corvin would start to catch up, being his 100 or whatever so far away meters he was.
Zeke will start to like wide fat foot his way through the crops since he was tried hiding in those horribly, sparking everything.
Thank you for the resub, Brad.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened. You tried to sneak through and you're breaking
was like-
the crops.
He's
drove
like,
them into a frenzy.
"Hey, a guy!"
Oh, I'm getting flashbacks to Resident Evil 4.
Then I did my job.
So what was that all about?
He had a little mess. It says he tucked his 6-shooter back into his holster.
I'm sorry, I need to pull this up. Mr. DM, I would like to examine the bodies when I get there.
Okay, yeah. At a glance, there doesn't seem to be anything untoward about the body. There's no disgusting maggots writhing underneath the skin or anything like that. But you can give me a Medicaid roll.
Oh, I was gonna ask if I could do that next. Okay.
Yeah, anyone who's overlooking the bodies can do that.
I don't want to steal his thunder.
Okay.
Well, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, so.
Okay, then I'll do it.
Do it, Medicare.
Medicaid.
Hey,
Hey.
That's
medicine man.
No modifier.
I lift up one of the blown pieces of head from the boy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
This dead person looks like dead person.
Oh, God.
No, it's a meme, but
Yeah.
it says, "Is this a heretic?" And he's like holding the.
I did kind of
I can,
pulverize my target, so yeah.
I'm picturing it like Ezekiel picks up bits and he's like, I've actually never seen healthy brain matter before, you know, coming from a corn-ridden, everything's tumor-ridden where I'm from, drops it. And Oakum's just looking at it like, this is what fleshy parts look like, I forgot.
I'm more admiring how easily fractured all the bones were than I am with how they probably should be going together.
Judas, on the other hand, you take a look at the bodies. The old man seemed more composed than the young one did. And while there isn't anything majorly standing out to you as signs of corruption or something wrong physiologically, you do notice that there is the sickly sweet smell of decay has already started to emanate from the remains of the young man. His body's decaying, you reckon, a little bit faster than what is normal.
I step up. I look to my compatriots and I say, rot is setting in far faster than it should. And I unsling my my gauntlet to begin the incineration process. If nobody's going to stop me, I'm going to set the bodies on fire.
Zeke doesn't move, so I just half imagine you just like turn it on and wait for him as he's just examining a few more things before he stands up and brushes the gore off of his robes and kind of like makes a hand gesture a little bit before making the equivalent. I can't speak right now. The Emperor symbol and say, "Burn the rods away."
Well, would stand back and ignite his stave, and the electricity would slowly dissolve the gross at the end of it. Just gesture to them like, "Please do."
Unless anybody else is going to say anything.
As he kind of steps out the way, right before you start to like spark the flames, he kind of looks to everybody and says, "I fear I may have been more than right on my initial desertion when we landed."
Great.
Want to
Well,
fill
fellas,
the rest of us in?
it's hunting season. That's what he's trying to say.
Oh, really?
Well, as some might say. And he looks to everyone and says, "Don't any of you give any sort of mercy or good sign to one of these folks, or else we may be at the end of the barrel of the gun of our Inquisitor friend up above."
I finished my incantation to the Emperor, the last of the flames spewing onto the bodies to where I know that they'll compose, or decompose from the promethium, and I turn to Vars and say, "Tell me, are you paid by the head that you take? 'Cause you will find few here." And I kind of like scoff at the charring corpses next to me.
Well, no. He'd be sort of like rolling his sling over his shoulder so he could get his shotgun out. But I did once get offered to get paid for the weight of a man's head, so I did fill it with liquid lead. They found that out pretty quick, so didn't work out. But he's gonna cock his shotgun with one hand. I'm happy to hunt.
At the very least, it is good to have you on our side. Whether your motivations are pure or not.
Are any of our motivations really pure if you think about it?
Oh, I just look at you with that. From behind my fucking mask, you can feel me like boring into you with daggers, and I just like very slightly shake my head. Yes.
Okay. He's gonna put his hands up, like, good for you, and he's gonna have like the shotgun sort of hanging off the trigger guard's hanging off his thumb, like, okay. Then he's gonna start walking.
Corvin will lean over to Oakham and be like, "Do you know what just happened there?"
Oakham would slowly incline his head to look down towards you. No malice. You can see the glowing red optics behind the eye sockets of his mask. And sort of like there's a little something underneath there. Like maybe there's flesh from like around his eye socket. So the eye has been replaced. It sort of like squints a little bit. I am not entirely sure. But they appeared more resistant to injury than standard humanoids should be, and no traces of cybernetics. I assume some kind of, what is it they say? He holds his hands up, and the cybernetic limbs he has also mimic the gesture. Witchery, I would presume.
Oh, yeah, I got that. I was talking about any, like, points between the two members that were just, like, having a discussion between...
I can probably give you closure on that information.
Oh no, he's trying to read my mind.
Oakham looks at the two of them ahead, and then back to you two, and just sort of shrugs. Humans are a weak point of most operations. It is the nature of things. dominance is often a thing sought after, and disagreement, usually based on some form of perceived ethical clout or perspective. It's a good thing I don't particularly care, so long as they perform their duties. And thus far, their combat service has been optimal. Therefore, let them fight.
But
Omni
wait,
stupid tech priest just called me a clout chaser.
Called you a cloud goblin, yeah.
Yes, he did call you a clown goblin.
Look,
Oh,
at least I
he
didn't
called me
comment on the
shallow.
quality of your characters, like, far future Instagram account or something, okay?
It's okay. He called me shallow though, so he got both of us.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennia, there is only cloud.
There's only content.
Wait a minute. Shallow chasing clouds. Fuck.
Oh,
In the
God.
grim dark future, there is only pain.
There's only Twitter.
Clown emojis.
Only Twitter now. Elon Musk Twitter survived. The Emperor
Jesus.
felt it was important enough of a communications device to keep it.
That's where the
That's
80%
true.
of scrap code comes from right now. It's just what's left of Twitter, and it's just ancient dank memes that refuse to die.
Yeah, but he renamed it, so like, here, I'll put it in the chat what he renamed Twitter to.
Shit. Oh, yeah, that's
God.
about right.
Yeah, you're right. You're
But
right.
yeah, I move out behind bars.
Oakham hasn't been particularly loud in any way, shape, or form, so.
Bars is whistling. Like, he doesn't give a fuck if people see him coming. He's just fucking ready. He's got a shotgun just sort of like hung over his shoulder with one hand on it. He's just ready to go.
Over the comm bead, I chime into Corbin, basically saying, like, if there's any course of action you would want to take right now, taking point, getting some, like, overwatch, locking down some coordinates with your long-range rifle, I think that could be beneficial.
well, yeah, I'm pretty decent as a pathfinder. If you want me to take point and move ahead and see what I can see, probably be for the best. Otherwise, I could take up the rear and watch our behinds.
I I feel like the tech priest would probably be best at keeping sensors to the rear of us, right?
I don't
He
know
would
how they
look.
work, so
I'm honestly gonna think that perhaps the tech priest is best in the central position, able to move towards both. Can keep an eye on back and keep a lookout forward, while Var's on point.
I can perform either purpose well, and his lower limbs sort of extend out, and you can see the sort of optics at the end of the tendrils. I have significant vision through these, and can ratchet them above our party. I can provide a literal overwatch as needed. Don't feel compelled to force me anywhere. I am willing to work within the most efficient means of deployment.
Hence why I suggest putting you towards the center.
I trust that you all know where you're best suited.
Speaking of, optical mechadendrite as high as I can, and he's literally just sort of scanning the area as we're walking.
Corbin takes off like at a light jog to maybe a light run actually to get around like 75 meters ahead of the group. Wait, how long would I know how far our Vox speed can go?
The Fox speed probably has quite a significant range, because your Inquisitor could theoretically contact you through it from above the planet's atmosphere.
All right, then I would probably take up like, if I could, like go 100 meters out from them and then just try to stay out of sight while I move forward.
Yep. Yeah, if you give me a stealth roll, then. I'm going to give you a +10 to this because the crops in the field give you a lot of cover.
Oh no.
It's all right. We're just getting them out early. We're getting them out early.
I'm super good at this.
You can all hear as Corvin stomps off ahead of you through the field.
Why is the sniper in the front? Isn't Vars our stealthy guy?
Yeah, but Vars is just having a great time. He's just fucking
Vars-
whistling, walking along.
Bars is happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah, he is happy-go-lucky, but he is the only one that actually has stealth, if I recall correctly.
His stealth works by being the day-to-day ambiance. He walks through it and playing that music you think is you play in the back of your head, and it's because of that you just ignore him.
Yeah,
He
Spanish
could be
Flea is
standing
playing
right in
this
front
game.
of you, but you can't see him.
Bars
He's
Like
the kind of
back-
guy that intimidates you into thinking that he's not there.
Like the guy from Fire Emblem.
Oh my god.
Fars is for crowds.
Vars does really well at blending into crowds. So
Truth. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Despite the stomping off ahead, because of the sheer size of the fields and the crops and stuff that are growing here, the only two people that can give me perception, there is a skill for it. Wait a second. I will eventually get to grips.
Awareness?
Dark Heresy once again. Awareness.
I would happily
Yes.
make an awareness check.
All right. Let's see.
I don't have anything.
Regular modifier or -10?
Oof.
Because everyone who's obscured can take a -10.
I got a 102, Andy. Do I win?
You win something.
So if we're just on the road, is it just normal then?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Don't matter.
Well, that skill modifier certainly
Only did so much.
Oh, wait a minute. Did Oakham roll a 99?
Oh
no,
no.
I didn't. I rolled a 42.
Yes.
I love it here.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
He
Yeah.
rolled a
That's one of the numbers
99.
you're not supposed
Yeah.
to roll, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
How many? Let's see. It's because everyone rolled it once. I was like, wait, what? How many fate points? We
Hold
get
on to
fate
your
points
fate.
back every session,
you should probably.
Yeah.
Oh, every
That's
session we get them back? Ooh.
Yeah. as long as you
Oh.
don't burn them.
long as you
I
don't.
will re-roll that because that's pants, and I literally can do better
That's
with
pants.
literally anything.
Wait, as long as you
So-
don't burn them?
Alchem just ignites.
You burn fate points to keep yourself alive.
Oh, so you do get them back like at the start of each session,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or you can burn one to keep yourself alive. Oh, okay. I thought they were like more like you use it and you won't get it back
Unbelievable.
until way later.
82 now, as opposed to 99. Are we sure we're not waiting these days?
Hey man, just be happy you're not talking to Zinch again, or talking
Yep.
to Zinch like I did.
Seems
mean-
like to visit the party.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not re-rolling that shit again.
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, you guys continue on your journey. Whether it's the fields getting in, you're obscuring your vision. It's the first time you've all worked together. You're still getting a feel for how each of you operate. And like even just the little that you've seen so far is enough to kind of put all of you on edge, distractingly so. Orvin, you being like 100 meters ahead of the rest of your companions, are the first one to reach the edge of the fields. And you can see like the fields and the road and stuff that your companions are on gradually slopes up. Eventually it comes to the top of a hill, where you can see that there's a small town situated on top of this hill. Architecturally, it's kind of somewhere in between like an old west type town with some mechanical and futuristic elements sort of connecting them. So there is like power supply boxes and things like that, and power generators and stuff on the edge of the town. And it's built on top of this small hill that comes to a peak. On top of that hill, you can see a chapel. The town itself, though, Corvin, is a town. There are people going about their business, women sort of milling about, talking to their neighbours, men pushing like sort of carts and stuff around with various tools and supplies and stuff to be taken out to the farms to harvest crops. There are vehicles, usually like farm sort of vehicles you'd expect to find on a farm, or modified versions of them. Like what?
Like combines, those like
combines, yeah.
Huge, like fucking
Or-
multi-story building size things that like rip crops out of the ground. Is that what you're talking about?
There's probably a few of those out in the fields.
Okay.
Lehman Russ is without the gun.
I was thinking that there's probably modified Imperial military vehicles
Oh, sick.
that have been stripped down and repurposed for farming. So you're talking like maybe Imperial Guard Chimeras, but with, like a lot of the top section has been taken off, so they act more like large pickup type vehicles instead, and things like that.
They have
on
a
the
Bane
larger-
blade that they retrofitted as a combine.
Well, that might be what the giant combines are built on.
Oh
But
no,
yeah,
I just gave Andy a Bane blade.
There are
Let it rip.
children sort of walking around the field, walking around, playing with each other, people having conversations, people at work. And you can see the chapel on top of the hill, a chapel that is outwardly emblazoned with all the regalia and symbology that you would expect from an Imperial chapel.
As I reach that gun line, that crop line, I would probably like lay down and take my like long las out and just view through the scope and just see what are like the immediate defenses, and are there any what are they called, planetary defense PDF forces like milling about at all?
Now, there are no planetary defense forces here in the town. And as you're sort of crouching or laying down into the field, your scope or your vision is probably obscured by the fact that there are townspeople coming towards the edge of the field to where you are, because you didn't approach as stealthily as you might have thought.
I would then vox immediately. Yeah, this is like a farming town, and there are people coming straight at me already.
Is there elevation near? Sorry.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Is there elevation nearby?
No, it looks like the town is on the elevation.
I look to Vars and I just start double timing it.
Where the hell are you going? Like over at him.
I assume we probably all heard the conversation on the box, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
it
you
would have
think.
came from. Unless Fars has just switched his combi off and he's like,
Oh no, he has his music up too loud. He can't hear the villagers coming.
Oh no, Vars has his AirPods in.
The jock jams aren't worth it, Vars. The jock jams aren't worth it.
and the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, only Apple earpods are
That explains why shit's so
Truly the
finicky.
grimmest and darkest of timelines.
Judas.
No, Vars has a realization. He's just like, oh, and he like flips on his box.
Yes, Zeke.
Zeke. Oh, okay, cool. Course of action. Do we begin aloof, or are we to assume hostilities from the get-go? Your place to make the call, I think.
Judas already started jogging off, right?
Yeah, but we can have the
That was to
conversation
the
on
Vox.
comms.
Yeah, that's true.
So through the rattle of my gear and my heavy breathing, You can make out me saying, we save those that stray not from the Emperor's light, but we assume nothing until we make contact.
Reasonable. And Oakham starts jogging off after heavy gear pounding.
Then Zeke gives one last warning before he starts to kind of jog after, being the last one behind, probably. Then think of what to say about the two that may not come back. They may have been expected.
Nothing. We say nothing.
So hearing what Judas said, I would more than likely immediately just leave the long last there on the rifle, kind of hidden in the corn or whatever vegetable or whatever it might be, and he would stand and walk out of the corn line and just wait without approaching the people. And he would unshoulder his other weapon and hold his regular las gun at a ready, but not like he's pointing it at them.
Just another soldier boy.
Prank that.
The group of townspeople who are approaching you sort of slow their approach when they see that you're armed and armored. The heavy-set woman who's at the front of the group sort of puts her hands up. My friend, my brother of the Imperium. What brings you to our town?
Murder.
Oh, Kyle's audio's.
Oh, you're muted, Kyle.
Oh, sorry. He would just stand there and he'd be like, I believe that answer is confidential. Identify yourself.
Me get as a name. My name is Estella. This is my husband, Raquel, and my son, Seneca.
And are you what importance are you to this town?
We're not. We seen you hiding in the field. We thought it unusual.
Yes, I was testing your outer defenses. If you hold, one of my superiors will be here in just a moment, and they'll be able to explain everything to you if it is allowable.
Of course, we rarely get Imperial visitors here, other than when a tithe is due.
Well, then you should be honored that some of the Imperium's finest have shown up.
They can be disappointed.
You take note that the husband and son are armed with shotguns.
Not if I shoot it out of their hands.
Judas is probably the first one to reach you, since he took off at a jog to catch up.
How are they holding the guns when I arrive?
The young man is holding his a little bit more readily than the older man's.
Is he pointing it at Corbin?
No.
I come to an abrupt halt about like 10, 15 meters in between, like triangulated Corbin's position and their position, and I think that Judas would probably order the two of them to put their weapons down. I'll make a command roll if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is there any modifiers?
Do you get bonuses for your command roll from your background? No, you can spend willpower to sort of automatically succeed, but yeah. No,
I can?
no bonuses.
How do I spend
Yep.
willpower?
Yeah, no willpower, fate, sorry. Spend
Fate
fate
point.
to automatically succeed on a charm, command, or intimidate skill
That's true,
check.
that's what I do. Then in that case, I am going to do that. So I don't have to worry about failing.
Good stuff.
You succeed by a number of degrees equal to your willpower bonus, which
3.
is 3. The older man, the husband, he sort of takes a look at you, looks between you and Corvin, and you see him slowly crouch down and put the shotgun to the ground. His son looks a little more unsure about it, but he does eventually sort of unsling the shotgun and put it onto the ground. By this point, though, you can see that other townspeople are starting to sort of slowly approach and observe what is happening.
I tell the boy, have the other townsfolk stay back.
He sort of looks between the two of you and see him turn to look at the crowd of people starting to gather before he sort of jogs off to talk to them.
I very quickly, and nobody can really hear me, I imagine, because I am wearing that fucking like full flak suit. So unless I have my soft vox speaking out the words, in the silence of my thing, I calm Zvars and I say, "Your expertise may be required."
Understood. And he'd come running onto the scene with both of his guns drawn, and he'd be pointing at the people closest to everybody.
Wrong expertise. Wrong expertise.
The other one.
The crowd Vars.
As that starts, Zeke is just like, fuck it. Starts arcing lightning between his hands.
Okay, well, I guess if this is how we're gonna do it,
Unless you're gonna correct Vars, he's just gonna fucking. He's ready to go. His gun's
I
loaded.
don't think that's what he meant, Vars.
Oh. Gotcha.
I don't talk real good to these people, so you know.
He's gonna like hold his guns up and carefully put his thumbs on the hammer and like put them back, and then just tuck them back in the holster. Forgive me, that wasn't very gentlemanly of me. Vars Aurelian.
The woman, Estella, and this is my husband, Ragel. What? You don't look like the typical Imperial administrators who come.
Well, just because I don't wear no fancy uniform don't mean I ain't official. So, he hits his thumbs into his belt. Let's talk about an issue we had on the road. Let's not talk about that.
An issue?
Zeke just kind of everyone can hear just like a groan as there's like a hiss of like back here as Zeke's just like, okay, here we go.
We had a bit of a kerfuffle, little misunderstanding. We reckon here that your vegetation is not up to imperial standard. He just kind of stepped forward, like he was trying to intimidate them with his candor. Oh yeah, I know.
This would be a message Oak, I imagine, would ping to everyone discreetly, all in a monotone, machine-made voice. It's clearly not his.
Binaric screeching.
Yeah.
So Bars is gonna like unhinge one of his thumbs from his belt, and he's gonna reach back and grab a cob of corn.
I'm securing
Yes,
their
gloves
weapons, by the way, while this is going on, just so we're clear, Andy.
Hmm?
I'm securing their weapons while Vars has their attention and is talking to them.
Yep.
He's
Sorry,
gonna
go over.
squish the corn cob and look at it.
You, as you're sort of taking the guns off the ground, you can, glancing up at the crowd of people, you notice that a lot of the townspeople were actually armed.
Great.
Well, like I always say, it's not sport if they can't shoot back.
Zeke and seeing all the freaking weapons that Judas is just starting to pile into his arms is gonna go over and help him start to secure them. Like, kind of hold his hobbled arms out so he could just be like, all right, here are these.
Only the initial two were the ones that lowered their weapons.
Okay.
The rest of the townspeople haven't been ordered to, and
Fair
the
enough, my
crowd
bad.
is fairly sizable at this point. That they might not want to. The Estella, sort of you'd be wanting to speak to the governor here, the overseer and governor here, Augustus.
I reckon I would. I'd love to speak to Mr. Augustus. He'd be talking with the corn cob in his hand.
She kind of looks at you as you handle the corn cob. Can I get?
To be clear, I didn't hand it to her. I'm just using it to ore it.
Gesture.
Yeah.
Gesture.
Yeah.
Can I get scrutiny rolls from everyone who is currently watching over the crowd?
Definitely watching the crowd.
Oh,
Scrutiny.
Ooh.
damn, that was a decent roll. But it wasn't good enough. I don't have screw.
I don't do rolls today, apparently.
I do no good today.
No one can.
Oh, man,
But
that's so
I'm
close.
trained in it. I'm trained in it, so give me a moment, guys. Maybe
Got
I
the
can actually
seek.
help us.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh,
But leave me
66.
too. There it is. What is it? It is add a degree of success to the test. Is that okay? Give me one. I'm going to spend a pay point to do a +10 to the test. If I'm reading the right one.
Yeah, you can spend a fate point for that.
Oh, Jesus
Oh
Christ!
jeez. 97.
What is it with us? I don't understand.
It's our first mission alone. It's supposed to happen, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the amount of skills versus what we have, like,
So my question is if I spent one to add to a bonus to the test, does that bar me from re-rolling?
Yep.
Okay,
Spent
well
your-
then-
spent your one
Yep,
fate
I
point.
did. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, can I make a scrutiny, or am I not allowed to?
You can make a scrutiny roll, yeah.
Sure. God damn.
It's just not going to be one of those days where we're very
No.
observant, folks.
I'm just too busy talking with my corn cob.
Hmm.
The player dice rolls in the game that I was playing before this were also not
Hmm.
great.
Not forgiving.
Not quite as bad, but not great.
Could I ask what
quite as-
weaponry I liberated from these fine folk?
Two shotguns.
2 shotguns. Okay. Well, who doesn't have a
will.
firearm here that might benefit from one?
I have a las pistol, but that's about it.
I thrust a shotgun into your chest.
All right. I'll
It's
take
like-
this shotgun as I'm about to get mind fucked by something. 'Cause I got a 97.
The as you start handing the shotguns off to your party members, you can see the disgruntled look is very obvious on this woman's husband's face. The crowd in general look a little bit displeased to see you all here.
Yeah.
Not like being an arbitrator, you're used to showing up and people not being happy to see you, and nothing registers to you as anything more than that typical, oh fuck, the cops are here, we don't, yeah, let's just shut the fuck up until they leave sort of look.
He is wearing his Arbites armor, so he probably he definitely looks like a cop.
Hey,
Right
fuck
now.
12.
While the guns are being gathered, Bochum will extend a servo limb, sort of like gesture, like, please hand me the weaponry.
You might want to speak to this machine spirit. It's probably been a while since anyone sang to it, priest.
He takes it and looks at it and sort of gives you like a dry look and a slow nod. You can tell he's not used to people saying stuff like that to him, so he's going to take it and he's going to use to sort of, I guess, retool it a little, make sure that it looks like it's in good condition. See, like, the just sort of like make it clear that they're not just taking the guns. He will return them in better working condition than they were prior, assuming they're returned.
I just meant
So-
to thank you, Jam.
I have a servo skull as well, which is our servo skull. My drone Helpy is going to assist with this. So that would get me, what is this now? It's benefits of a combi tool, which I recall is plus 10, I think, to the roll.
With 10, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's tech use plus 10. Submit. Are you fucking kidding me?
Ah!
I'm literally stapling like skill buff on skill buff here.
94.
I propose that we
Jesus,
invert
I've
it,
rolled
actually.
4 90s in less than an hour.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
It's okay. In the game we were playing, it was a test game for the game that I'm designing. Roddy's character is playing a thief, using a dagger, which was based off his agility trait for damage, which is a D8. But has the weak trait, which was given a penalty. Never ever rolled more than 1 damage the entire session through any combat on a D8. Even with the -2, he should have still been rolling 3 or 4 or 5 damage.
Bless him.
Digital dice rollers are dead
Yeah.
when you're a player. When I start rolling, probably later in this session, you guys are going to hate Roll20.
Yeah, two of these
Oh,
gentlemen
shit.
have experienced me roll 3 1s in a row on Call of Cthulhu.
It was fucking
Yeah.
crazy. He literally sent us the screenshot. He was like, I just don't
Yeah,
want you
I
to
was-
think I'm fucking lying to you. We were like,
Oh yeah, no.
no, we trust
I knew,
you. And then he sent it to us, and it was just like twisting the knife. I was like, I wish you were just fucking lying to me, honestly.
Yeah. Like I knew you weren't because it was so outrageous. It had to be real. Like that's the kind of dice rolls that a GM makes, where it's like my third 20, and you're like, you wouldn't say it if you didn't know we'd pull the screen down and beat his ass to death. Like so. Oh goodness.
That was fun.
So yes, Oakham begins to look at the machine. The drone comes in to look at it, and I imagine these things are just so old or like ratty that they kind of just practically come apart in his hands.
Yeah, they're like low quality shotgun.
Yes, you aren't wrong. It has been some time. He's going to take the parts from the shotgun that he just took, wrap it in part of his cloak, and sort of hold it off to the side, with the understanding he will repair it when he has more time.
Zeke pats Oakham on the shoulder like it's okay. We're all failing today.
Oakham will let that gesture go with no statement.
I believe we have bigger
Yes.
problems.
Just
We have much
defeat-
bigger problems. We have an entire town
What were you saying? Sorry, I've been
open
pissing
fire
off.
on us.
just looking defeated.
No.
Cool.
Zeke will say in the Vox comms though, and will state, perhaps it's best we have perhaps it's best we have this Augustus come here. If we go deeper into the town and they decide to close their fist, we have a lot more to deal with.
Make a good point.
As it stands right now, we can't exactly properly identify what we're here for without getting shot. And because he'll shoot us.
Orvin, did you requisition an orbital bombardment beacon?
We can get those.
I'll take that as a no then.
Bars is gonna finally speak up. Take me to your leader. He's gonna be talking with the coin. He's gonna have his hand out like that.
And Zeke's gonna Fox, have Augustus come out here.
Bring me your leader to me.
Take me to your leader. I mean, bring your leader to me. Juggling
And-
corn.
Andy, how much, what size is this settlement, give or take, in terms of people? Are we talking hundreds or thousands or less than 100?
Probably hundreds.
Okay.
That's a lot of last guys.
How long is the sprawl of the city, would you say? I mean to cut you off, Omni, but now you got my mind working too.
No, you're on the right path. Yeah, I'm doing the same
There's
thing.
probably a few dozen buildings here.
Okay, so it's not huge.
Mostly households with a few public spaces, one of which being the large chapel on top of the hill.
Andy, can I roll an intimidate?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to
Oh,
intimidate
God.
them with corn. Not like KHORNE, not that one, but
Mm.
Take me to your leader.
yeah. I feel like the chaos guys are like dogs. You can't say like we're going for a ride. You have to say like, yeah, it's the KHORNE guy. You know, you can't say that, otherwise you'll summon them. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if
pretty
we would
much.
even know their names, right?
Oh, hell no.
Nah, doesn't get.
Finally.
You know, finally, you know what? That brings up a very weird fact. It's like, hey guys, I want to go get a bowl of cornflakes. Does he just get like a little beefier every time?
No, he gets pissed off. He like fucking punches a hole in his refrigerator, like throws a baseball through his drywall. Like, you know what
It's
I
like
mean?
the anti-Tony the Tiger.
Does he not have cornflakes in the
fucking
Rage realm?
Rips the door off the hinges.
This is not great.
If the bowl doesn't get filled fast enough, it just launches it across.
Oh my god.
It's like that episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog where Eustace gets the anti-balding thing, but it just makes him pissed off.
Sir, what does our Lord want today? Well, today he wants skulls. Okay, and what did he want yesterday? Blood. What does he want tomorrow? Cornflakes. Oh shit, we better get on that now. But he wants skulls today. He always
That's a
wants skulls
curve.
from the throne. Get the cornflakes. He's gonna wake up and there's gonna be cornflakes.
Cornflakes are special. They're like least commonly.
Just blood chips. Yeah.
Just the dried skin of Space Marine.
Sorry. Sorry for
Fried
the
skin
serious
of
now.
Space Marine.
Yeah, cornflakes.
Cool. The
Yummy.
woman Estella sort of looks at you for a moment as you sort of, use a more intimidating tone.
I'm pointing my corn at her very threateningly.
I'll go and see if if he's available. She sort of
Good.
turns and rushes through the crowd of people. Who all sort of stand looking at you, pretty much blocking that gap between the buildings here at the edge of the field from you guys being able to actually walk into the town if you wanted to. Like, there's all the townspeople are just sort of crowded, staring at the five of you.
I'm definitely I haven't moved at all. I've still standing right in front of my long las, and I would just have pulled out my magnoculars, and I'd be checking out like every single like sniper's nest, crow's nest, any like position. Because once I saw that there were other people or a lot of people with guns, I would definitely be checking out the whole rest of the town and surrounding area.
Okay, yeah, give me an awareness roll. You can add a +10 for the magnoculars.
A -10.
It's still not going to be good, guys.
You can do it.
I believe in you.
I don't.
No!
At a degree of success. No, I was kidding.
Wait, you said you got a +10, right? Or -10, right?
It'd be a -10.
That was
So
baked in.
his target would have been
Oh.
24. Like, he rolled a 25 and he needed a 24.
Oh my god, he doesn't have he needs a skill point in awareness.
I don't even know what
Wait
to
a minute,
say
a sniper with no awareness. Wait a minute.
It just
work in
means he's
teams.
really good at the shooting.
Yeah,
okay?
they
Yeah.
work in teams.
Hey
The
man,
ones-
I am a part of the Imperial Guard. It is very rare that it is me alone, okay?
I left
There's
my
a dude
spotter
with
at home.
binoculars, there's a dude with the magazine, and he's the dude with the gun.
A
Oh,
spawner's in my other pocket.
See, if we were Tau, you'd have a marker light drawn and not have to worry about it.
See,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's worse.
They know what's
You
up.
That's
realize that's empirically worse, right?
Way Vesta campaign?
That's why
'Cause it's
Tower
pretty much-
better.
It's pretty much the gun saying beep, 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 beep.
that's heresy.
It's like
Hit on
having
four.
it's like the tower like playing a FPS game with like auto lock gun.
Cheaters.
Yep.
They got
Like
well
the
hacked.
gun
How-
literally like pulls their arms towards the to link up with the marker light.
Yeah,
So
like,
you just have like Tau being pulled to the ground, sliding, and
Hey, Andy, you want to be cool and say that's a 24 that I rolled?
Jesus.
If I know
It'd be a
Andy,
lot-
and I do, the answer is no. Not on your
It would
life.
also be a lot easier to fudge those rolls if we didn't literally have a window directly above my head with the bones of fate highlighting that failed roll.
hey,
Failure!
Corbin,
failure.
spend your first
Yeah.
fate point.
Where we could go. Are you sure it was a 25-year-old? You didn't just misread the 5. Yeah, no.
It's a 3.
You don't notice. There are obviously there would be spots, obviously the roofs of buildings and things like that where a sniper could be positioned, but as far as you're aware, there's no one aiming any guns at you from rooftops or anything like that.
Hmm.
I would just come over the Vox beat then. We're clear up top, guys. It looks like all of them, from my view, are here.
Well, don't you worry about a thing, because we're going to have ourselves a nice, civilized conversation.
In the event it isn't so civilized,
Shut the fuck
do
up.
we have a plan?
Shut up.
I'm working on that now.
I would like
I don't want the stupid robot telling me how to do my job.
Zeke would like to close his eyes, place a hand on Vars, and I would like to cast foretelling as the woman when and if the woman starts coming back with or without someone. But I shall wait until that time comes.
Damn tech priest telling me, oh, outcomes of 56% and 47%. Why, I bet there's just a 1% chance he didn't succeed on finding somebody.
Oof.
Would slowly incline his head at that. That seemed needlessly personal.
The brigand makes a good point, however. Long sightlines.
That's why I'm still in the cord.
Oakham also would like to try to use. He's trying to gather in his head what, since Red did mention it. It actually is a fair point. He probably is assessing the likelihood of how this is going to go. Given all the factors that we're aware of, given the fact that there doesn't seem to be anyone on top of the ruins, but there's long sidelines, we have encountered resistance from the populace thus far. There's a large number of people ahead of us, and they do seem somewhat disgruntled. And they're not particularly keen that we seized a couple of their firearms. And we just asked their settlement leader, who may or may not be on our side, to be coming ahead of us. Factoring all this on top of that, as well as also this planet's prior history with not necessarily being super jazzed with Imperials in this part of the settlement, in this part of the area, is there a way I can make a logic roll to try to deduce the likelihood that we might end up in some kind of serious danger shortly?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna...
about 50-50. We either are or we aren't. Because we already ran into some heretical motherfuckers.
Schrodinger's danger.
Sorry to steal your bars.
Let me give you a plus 30 roll to that logic roll because
Okay.
Cogitators.
Plus 30. Got it.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
Wow, what do you know? 30 degrees of success are because of
I
that
would've-
extra 30.
But I would have succeeded baseline anyway, which makes me happy. So, yeah. With those 3 degrees of success, what do you think, boss?
this is dangerous situation. There are 5 of you, and you're all capable in combat. But as the Imperial Guard has often proved, over and over and over and over again, that you don't necessarily need skill, as long as you have overwhelming numbers that you throw at an opponent. It is very feasible that, like, in a military situation, that an entire platoon of Imperial Guardsmen would overthrow 5 Imperial Space Marines.
Space Marines,
Just
we are
prove
not,
to
and
that-
there's a huge number of people in front of us.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we're the Space Marines. Let's go.
And the scenarios.
I think we started with about 5,000 too little experience to be Space Marines. Oh!
No, we're good.
I'm thinking in Death Watch, where you play Space Marines, all of the characters are treated as having 10,000 experience already.
Oh, I thought it was
And then-
6,000, my bad.
No, it's huge.
And then you have an additional 1,000 to spend character creation.
Holy shit.
Not to mention an entire armory of gear that only you can use.
Yeah.
Such
Welcome to
as?
the Adeptus.
Literally everything.
Can I have a boulder pistol?
Such as, it's heresy to ask.
Such as
armor,
everything in the Space Marine Codex.
Soda
Falls
can
under
sized
it.
bullets, my
Yeah.
friend.
And the
Explode
pattern
inside
engines.
someone.
Power armor that doesn't suck.
Hey,
Oakham,
my arm is great. You can take
Oakham,
your-
while he's standing here,
Really?
sort of like has his optics scanning the crowd, like slowly counting them, literally doing like the Iron Man ping, 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 counting each one as he's silently doing that in his head. His own optics scanning the environment and sort of assessing, probably in his head, dozens of different things. And then as eventually he just sort of like stands a little bit straighter and slowly bends forward and leans towards you, Judas, and whispers in your ear in a voice that's actually seemingly not auto-tuned for the first time. There's no cybernetic-like modification to it. And he just says, there is a distinct possibility we may be forced into combat, and we are significantly outnumbered. I highly advise we consider finding somewhere as a readout in case of an emergency.
The Emperor
And he sort of
protects.
slowly straightens up.
I'd say over my box to where just you can hear the Emperor protects, and I like just very, very like subtly gesture with like my head towards the chapel on the top of the hill.
Oakham nods. That seems like a reasonable defensive position, I'd imagine.
I would be wary of that decision. Easy kind of chimes in slightly, taking read out of it.
Oakham slowly turns to him and narrows his eyes. Are you bulletproof?
I'm saying is some of the most dangerous places on Flagellum were the chapel.
You're not wrong. But are you bulletproof?
I can tell you what is, or what might be bulletproof, and what might be waiting for us in a chapel like that, if this is to be the worst.
I will reiterate my question once more. Is your human flesh bulletproof?
Zeke just kind of shakes his head, his point going over the robot's head, and does not.
No, I'm picking it up. He's picking it up. He's discarding it immediately.
All right. We don't know about demons, but they know about us. They're gonna eat us.
See, Vars is like, he's a stealthy one, but I also have the best armor in the group. So if stealth goes bad, I can just shoot the fuck out of people and not worry about it too bad. So the fact that Vars is up front with all the armor on is probably better for you guys.
Very true.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I
Right.
need to roll a d10. If I roll a 1, I don't spend that point earlier. Ah, damn it, I was hoping that the shit rolls kept going.
Oh, shit rolls are high. They
Oh,
are
yeah, you're right.
Keep going.
Yeah, that's... I did
Wait,
it to
what
myself.
was that?
then. I
Oh,
needed
it's
a
the
1.
perk
He's
you
right.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Faith in the Creed. I'm
At
from
first
Shrine
you
World.
don't succeed. Try again. Unless you die doing it.
Son of a bitch.
Vars is keeping the townspeople entertained.
Yeah,
By
the
that I mean he's walking
townspeople-
up, getting uncomfortably close to them, and sort of like looking at them, like veering at them from underneath the brim of his hat, just like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like he's just thinking that to himself.
You get a lot of that, townsfolk sort of folding their arms, gritting their teeth. One or two of them probably sort of side spit onto the ground as you walk past them. But eventually, the crowd starts to sort of part a little bit as this quite large gentleman, I mean like round the way,
Oh,
comes waddling out.
Oh, okay.
It's the great unclean one.
Yeah, it's the thing we all know, but none of our characters know.
He has like a scruffy, almost like neckbeardy looking beard, and you can see that his cheeks and his forehead with the receding hairline, and even his hands and stuff are clearly riddled with pock scars, like old ones, probably from his youth. Gentlemen, I am Augustus Tigux. This lady here has came to inform me that I have imperial guests.
That you do. What a grand welcome, I must say. You got a 94.
yeah,
Use a fate. Use a fate.
I'm doing it.
I mean, there's only literally 5 results out of 100 that'll be worse. So there you go.
Nah, 2. Right on.
That is yeah, that is impressive.
Good shit, Zeke. You
That
love to
is
see it.
great. So Zeke is foretelling, is using foretelling on Vars as the man comes up and speaks up. Choose a single character or item within range and gain a brief and unclear image of the future, giving him an idea of effects to be suffered by him in the next minute. As I use Sight Rating 1. Also, the target should be 60, not 70. That was my bad there.
Yeah, so that's
with 5 degrees of success, I want to say.
Before telling. What group of psychic powers is on?
It's minor psychic.
Okay. So it's on the.
Hey, how do I make my thing my guy? I want my little thing on Roll20 to be my guy.
Oh, so I made it my guy by changing the avatar on my character sheet and then changing my name down at the bottom right where it says as to my character sheet.
Radical.
No problem.
Okay, so you're getting a reading of Fars.
Yes. He's being our vocal boy. He's speaking to what might be heretical motherfuckers like the guys from Flagellum. I want to know if he's about to like start puking out pox or whatever the heck might come up in the next minute.
You don't see anything immediately like that. In fact, the images you get from touching Fars and gaining a glimpse of what might unfold are all sickly sweet sensations and imagery. And as you're sort of getting those images, Augustus, who's mostly talking to Fars at this moment in time, you notice that his eyes kind of shift occasionally to the rest of you. My good sir, may I have a name of who I'm speaking with?
Well, you are standing in the presence of one Vars Aurelian. Pleasure to meet you. Adeptus Arbites, let me be more specific. I bet you could tell by the attire, but figured I'd fill you in a little bit.
I actually haven't had the pleasure of meeting too many arbiters. They don't tend to frequent this part of the planet too often. He holds out a stubby hand towards you.
It's Zeke's eyes just kind of like are clouded over as he's getting these images. His pupils having disappeared, and Vars, you kind of feel like a tightness from Zeke's hand as he kind of like grips your shoulder slightly, and like as he pulls it away, he leaves 2 fingers hooked onto your garb, just kind of like slightly pull before like my hand goes off to the side, trying to hide like the notion of we need gone bad. No.
Well, if you'd forgive me, I don't often shake hands with folks. Come from a place where disease was spread by touch quite frequently, so I hope you'll forgive my slight. It says his hand went for a low stick, and he just...
He nods his head, and you see him sort of... And it's not actually the first time you've noticed him do it. He seems to have a habit of rubbing his hands together constantly, as if he was washing his hands repeatedly. I understand. I assume an overcrowded world, maybe one of those hive worlds I've heard of. I hear that the disease is rampant here in the fresh airs of our glorious world. Disease is less common.
You might be correct. Indeed.
Are the gifts up, Timo?
Maybe I could take you to my estate for a more private conversation away from unworthy ears and eyes. You see him glance towards the townspeople. Can I get
Oh no.
again scrutiny rolls from everyone?
Yeah.
Sure.
I like where this is going.
Or do it until someone passes.
God damn it.
Ah, there we go.
Oh god damn it, Oakham! You rolled a nat 1. Amazing.
Let's go.
I was gonna
Turns
roll
out
it.
all you need to do to be good at being socially involved is to be sociopathically machine-like.
Analyze
I've been
each
saying that for
person's
years.
hormone levels and shit while they're like in a conversation.
I might as well be in a room somewhere watching through one-way glass, as far as I'm concerned.
I will
It's
make my own scrutiny roll, but it don't matter much.
I was happy to have a degree of success, and then Oakham out here is like, I have a tiny 1.
I'm cooler than you.
Big old one.
Exactly. A big old 1. Well, I have.
See,
Yes, sir.
you keeping your eye on the crowd and how people react to Augustus, despite the fact that he's very clearly said that they're not worthy to overhear the conversation. They seem to be starting to disperse, or at least thin out a little bit to give Augustus some space. Oakham, though, there's a strange reverence amongst not all of the crowd, particularly the younger members of the crowd, towards Augustus, which strikes you as somewhat odd. Augustus is a much older man. You can see that he doesn't seem to have any cybernetic implants or anything like that would extend his lifespan like a lot of Imperial nobles do. But he seems to be the elder, comparing him to how other people in the town look. But it is the younger members of this community who seem to have this deep reverence for the old man.
Okay. So the young folks don't particularly seem to be too entranced by him. But the older folks definitely so. There's a significant reverence for this figure.
No, it's the
Other
younger
way around.
folk.
So the
The
young
other-
ones are super reverent, more so than even the adults. Okay.
A lot like the two people on the road. The old dude was very calm and collected, and the young
But the
one
kids
was.
are all hyped up. All right. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Oakham isn't going to say anything at the moment, but he is filing that away on his internal databanks.
Master Aurelian, if you could come to my estate, you and your imperial representatives who are with you, for a quieter conversation.
Why? That sounds delightful. Vars isn't stupid. You guys all know that. He may be a dick, but he's not stupid. He seems a little too excited by the fact that he's going to get this guy alone. By all means, mister, lead the way.
What was the name of this figure again?
Augustus Tygut.
Gotcha. Right, I'm looking at it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
He has to physically sort of lift his weight. There's a lot of effort for him to sort of turn back around.
That's a fucking
As he starts to sort of lead you away.
Zeke will kind of look back to everyone and give like a like slow look you in the eyes until the pupils are visible, and then just kind of like a head tilt that's like, be on your guard.
Your Imperial Guard.
Hey.
Yeah, baby! Sunglasses coming on! Let's go!
The sunglasses out of nowhere. Amazing.
But Zeke will follow close behind bars.
There's a hair on the moment.
Oakham will fall to the back, and while he's walking, his optical mechadendrite will sort of look behind him at the crowd, continuing to watch how the kids are moving and acting as we walk away.
They seem to be keeping the closest eye on you. A few of them even shadowing your steps. The young man, the son of the lady who came and greeted you, or greeted Corvin, Seneca, as you're about to walk away, like, I demand that you give me my gun back.
Oakham reaches into his into the cloak and pulls out the pieces that he disassembled from before. Takes them, puts them on the ground, and after thinking for a second, takes out a single vial of sanctified oil and puts it down next to it. And sort of slowly pushes it towards him. Use in good health, and then turn around and resume the crowd walk.
Only Oakham, can I get you to give me an awareness roll as you're walking away from the young man?
Yes.
Young man.
You know what? I am going to use my character special ability, Nothing Escapes My Sight. In addition to normal uses of fate points, a seeker may spend a fate point to automatically succeed at the awareness or inquiry roll test with a number of degrees of success equal to my perception bonus, which is 3. So I will get 3 degrees of success, and I will drop my fate points to 1 for the session.
Nice.
Gotcha.
As you're walking away, you hear the young man muttering curses under his breath. And what's most striking about it is he mentions the planet by its pre-imperial designation and mutters that he prays for the day that the planet has so many imperial filth on it for when the father comes and claims all life upon it.
Oakham is going to pause, put one of his metallic hands forward, put it on the back of Judas's shoulder, and then say out loud, "Hold a moment," and then turn around and walk immediately back, striding swiftly to the child, standing over it with a broken gun, and brings his mechadendrites down the servo arms, slowly, gently place on the child's shoulder, and lean close to him, looking at him with his optics. He's going to say, very directly to him, "Repeat what you just said."
Yeah. Freezes for a moment as you put the hand on him.
I want you to repeat what you just said.
I said that the father will claim this planet once it's overrun by you imperial dogs, and will bring it back into his fold as everything decays.
He's going to reach a hand out and gently pick up the sanctified oil he had left with the gun, put it back in his cloak, and slowly turn around as his mechadendrites slowly ratchet into his shoulders. Not enough to hurt, but enough to firmly grasp him. I've got a metal digit under his clavicles, and the other one's on the back underneath his scapula. So if he moves, I will shatter his arms. And I slowly turn to the group and say, this one must come with us. Judas, he may be of import.
As you say that, the woman, Estella, sort of kind of screams at you to let her son go. And you see that a number of the younger people in the town, men and women, start to unshoulder shotguns or unclip pistols that are in holsters. And those of you who are closer at the front, Fars, you're like kind of following along either beside or close behind Augustus. Hear him kind of raspily take a breath.
He's going to slowly turn around to Judas, and his eyes are going to narrow. And with a loud clank, he's going to remove his circle arms and slowly retreat them. And let the kid go back to the crowd with like a gentle push. And then return to the group as they're walking. Optics watching behind him to make sure nothing else is going to happen.
Over comms to where just Oakham can hear, I say, strange or not, a community's going to want to protect their children.
Oakham's going to play a voice clip of what he just recorded. This kid saying. Over mic.
Does that mean anything to me?
Probably not. It would be a forbidden knowledge.
I don't even have that.
Oh, man.
Meanwhile, while this is all happening, I watch them all start walking into the town. As I'm like, I don't know, how far would you say the edge of the field is from the town, Andy?
Maybe about 30 meters from the edge of the town.
Alright, yeah. Is there a building that is fairly high and kind of overwatch of this position that they're walking to, and or a majority of the village?
The chapel.
How far away is the chapel from me right now?
From you right now, probably over 100 meters.
So I would jog quickly to 100 meters while pulling out my grapnel line and fire it to get on the building. If I
the moment any of the villagers see you approach, starting to approach the chapel, they start to shout and scream at you that the chapel is only to be touched on holy days, and that.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if they would be able to tell because, like, I have a grapnel line that can fire 100 meters.
You'd still have to get closer.
Yeah, I would just approach the village as I would be like following up after everybody, and then once I'm in 100 meters.
Okay. Yeah, if you're going to grapple onto the roof of the chapel, it's going to be more than screams and shouts.
I'm just going to couch this with, I know Oakham's not very good with social interaction, but Omni is, and I did just literally threaten one of their kids in front of the entire village. So,
Yeah.
Just saying, I can't intervene. This is you.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody has said anything, and I have been doing other things.
So, real quick, after he plays that over the voice comms, does this sound familiar to Zeke? Like any of the things they may have been spouting on Flagellum, on the Daemon world?
You can give me a forbidden lore. What?
Okay. Any modifier?
No.
Okay, son of a bitch. Last time I got talked to by a great changes. Let's hope I'm all low.
So that's 84.
My dude. My dude in
Wow,
Imperial
bro.
Truth.
My brother in the Imperial Truth.
My
You know
brother and the Emperor.
You know what? Confirmation is always best. I'll spend the last one.
That's even worse.
Oh my goodness.
So I was worried the townsfolk were chaos.
Alright,
but
taking
now
that.
actually
Taking
my
that
head-
break.
Boys.
Yeah.
Not special roll.
Please,
For
please.
98.
Let's take some bets. Zeke,
So
Zeke is going
98.
to die first. He's going to be the first one dead in the group. I think we can
The,
all agree on that.
If I don't die first, it's definitely gonna be Oakham when we walk in and they blast you with a with like 3 shotguns for trying to take a kid.
the father of plague, the great granddaddy of decay, and is known by many names through the galaxy, and this is not the one that you're familiar with, at least.
Okay.
The big cheese. The
yeah.
stank himself.
You are alerted behind you when Corvin fires a grapnel to the top of the chapel. The sounds of many people opening fire.
Oh!
He did say more than screams and shit.
Let's go.
If I just to be sure, real quick, am I good or am I collapsing as I get talked to again?
You're fine. It needs to
Okay.
be a 99.
99 for Zinch, or wait, is it 99, 88, 77, 66, or was it 99, 98, 97, 96?
No, it's 66, 77, 88, and 88.
Oh, okay, okay. I literally thought my head was. Oh, okay. Zeke is gonna look back and see like Corvin Magna grappling to the thing, and just raise a finger to the thing and say, "Corvin, did you not hear me suggest staying away from the chapel?"
I'm actually kind of stunned. I genuinely thought I put my foot in my mouth. I have no idea what to do, buddy. I'm literally,
like,
as a player, like, good luck.
Corbin is
No.
not responding if bullets are whizzing by him.
You get to the roof and you immediately have to take cover behind one of the spires that stick up. Like there's
Sure.
like decorative gothic spike key bits that sort of come up as bullets bury themselves into the stonework. Fars, you hear Augustus make that horrible, heavy, laboured breath again as he goes, Mr. Aurelian, if you could keep your subordinates under control, I will get the townspeople to stop firing at them.
Absolutely. Let me get right on that. He's going to pull up his box. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm being shot at.
Get off that goddamn chapel before I come up there and get you off of my stuff.
I was told to do what I did.
You were told fucking nothing.
That's also true and accurate. I can't get off the roof until they stop firing at me.
As
Zeke is just gonna chime in. Raise your hands. Just shout, okay? I'll get down.
You're
And
all
no
standing right there.
And we said, and I warned you all what would happen.
If you don't
we
stop
went
them,
to
I'm
that
gonna open
chapel.
fire here in a second.
No, you're fucking
Do not return fire. Do not return fire.
Ting, ting,
Right.
ting, ting.
while you're having this conversation over the microbed, Augustus slowly sort of waddles back and raises his hands. My young brothers and sisters, children of he has to kind of collect his thought. Notara Prime. This outsider doesn't understand his transgression. Allow him to descend and rejoin his companions without harm. The young people takes him a moment to kind of register what he's saying, but the gunfire starts to kind of trickle down to a stop.
Zeke will say one last as soon as the last bullet goes off. Zeke is just gonna like wait a few seconds and then say, "Don't forget to secure your don't forget to secure your rifle, or it won't be there when you get back."
You mean the one I have?
Oh, I thought you literally left it still over by the field.
No.
Okay, good.
I will grapnel to another building.
Winding down the way.
And I will probably level my las gun at the crowd. Just Overwatch.
That costs 1 CP in this edition.
Nice.
Aha, we're in second.
Actually, Overwatch is an action that I will then take.
Thank you for
And
the
I
raid,
will
Drunken Bard. Welcome in.
I will specify if any of them make another like violent physical action towards me or my companions, I will open fire semi burst or whatever it's called.
They're not gonna do nothing if you don't do nothing. So get your ass down here on the ground.
What do you literally need me on the ground for?
So we can show these folks that we're amicable.
So that we all die?
You motherfucker.
All right,
get down from
I get on the
Knock
ground.
from here.
That's what everyone's. Zeke's just gonna say. So far, we've had.
I
one
get
person-
it. Vars is the only one who's able to open fire without communicating to anyone.
That's goddamn right. Now you get down here.
I'm on the ground.
Corvin, with all due respect, we're currently in a wasp's nest, and with someone
You're the
straddling-
ones who walked into the wasp nest. I was still outside of it.
I
You're
got
the
a
ones
plan.
who made tactical indecisions that led to your weaknesses being surrounded. I'm not the idiot here. You are.
We can
Thank
discuss
you
the
very
finer
much.
points of strategy and tactics later. For now, we have a meeting.
I do concur.
So we're all gonna walk into this meeting and be completely surrounded. Understood. Got it. Sounds smart to me.
We
Well,
could
it
have had
just-
Overwatch if you didn't rush onto the temple, but we can talk about that later.
If these people recognize anything, and they recognize that I come from a similar rot, they can come to their own assumptions. But if we act as if we know nothing and are imperial filth, as that boy put it, we can't sell a fake product.
For the
This
record,
is not going to be the only village. We have many more places to go.
It's very obvious to me that none of you know actual imperial code or standards.
hey,
I'm
Andy,
an Arbides. I
We're
carry out
agents
the
of
law.
Inquisition.
Not
We're
here,
above
we're not.
that.
Exactly. I am an imperial guardsman.
Andy, question for
Yes.
you. How close is Augustus right now to us while we're having these conversations?
He had to kind of waddle his way back closer to the crowd for them to hear him. If you have all kind of stayed back to where he led you, then you're probably safe enough that you can have a fairly quiet conversation without him overhearing you.
Okay, that's fair. Oakum's dead silent as all this is proceeding. Not going to add anything to it. I was just curious.
For the record,
Mr. Augustus.
Sorry, I was just going to say, for the record, for waiting before we make a move is not the same thing as indecision.
So I'll talk to all y'all. I got it. Don't you worry. Now, Mr. Augustus, do forgive our transgressions, but we still would like to continue on with our rendezvous, our parlay.
Of course, Mr. Aurelian. Sort of, again, has to force himself to kind of turn round. And starts to lead you back the way he was leading you. He takes you to maybe the second highest sort of point in the town, to where there is a walled, sizable estate to be found. The thing that you notice when you reach, it's a walled estate with like a security door at the front, that Augustus's estate is secured by armed and, from the looks of it, decently equipped personnel. Earlier you were asking if you could see any members of a planetary defense force or anything like that. The guards here, at least around at the front gate and on the walls of the complex, are wearing what would be the equivalent of Imperial Guard flak armor. Slightly different in its design, slightly different make and model from either of the guard regiments that actually fought in the Crusade here, that are more in line with what you'd expect a planetary defense force to wear. And you know that most planetary defense forces are made up of natives to Imperial worlds.
Can I make a guard lore roll to kind of see if it looks like they've actually been trained at all, or if it looks like they're really just like ragtag group?
Yeah, give me an Imperial Guard lore roll.
Okay, so how do I make that roll on here? Because I don't see where to click.
Is that would be
I
under
found
lore, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
found
the
it.
square.
Oh,
Yeah.
big ol' oof.
Reroll. Spend them. They come back next session.
Oh, I might need them later.
At this rate, we actually might need them to survive. Just saying.
You're not wrong.
Does
I've already
Corbin have
used one
Imperial
so
Guard
far.
lore? He can make this roll.
True.
Yeah, Corvin could make the roll if he wanted to.
You're muted, buddy.
What roll am I making?
Lord Imperial Guard.
Let's see if these guardsmen are ragtag or not.
Hey, there we go.
Nice.
Succeed with a degree.
From your observation, Corvin, the way that the guards on the walls and at the gates of this complex are holding themselves, they have seen combat. They're not holding themselves with the false sort of bravado that newly trained PDF forces or newly trained guardsmen tend to. The guards here have seen combat. You're not sure where or when. As I said, they're planetary defense, which means they are from Notara, its prime. At this rate, it could even be possible that when the Crusade was happening, some of the men stationed at the gate and on the wall here were actually on the opposing side during the Crusade.
Thing, we're all brothers under the Imperial light, right?
Sure. Close enough.
Yeah, Corvin would just take note of that, but not really pass it along or say anything.
Oh, science, damn it.
As they see Augustus approach with you, you can see that the mechanical doors into the complex start to slowly sort of slide open. You can see that the doorways and stuff to the gate here, the building itself, once you get into the garden that surround the complex, have all been made wider than what is typically considered necessary. Probably to fit Augustus's actual girth. Similarly, however, to the fields around the town, the plant life here within the garden is looking extremely healthy and overgrown. Not overgrown as like unkempt, but like the trees are quite big, the flowers and stuff have bloomed quite large. There's thickly sweet smell lingering in the air, and the buzzing of flies can be heard kind of consistently around the grounds. The other thing to note is there are more armed and armoured personnel within the grounds here, but there are also servants here within the gates. And the servants here, like the townspeople outside, were dressed as you would expect. Rural planet, imperial citizens to dress, hard-wearing clothes, things that are good for sort of keeping the sun off the back of their necks, and arms and all that, overalls and all that sort of stuff. The PDF forces protecting the complex are, again, what you would expect. These servants within the walls are wearing nothing but plain, not even white, it's like unbleached cloth robes that are tied around the waist by, again, a simple hempen rope belt. As they tend to the gardens, the flowers, they come and greet Augustus when he comes through the gate, and they greet you as honourable imperial visitors.
I introduce myself and my cadre as Administratum, if they ask where we came from, for the record. I feel like that's probably the best cover, right?
Technically, this what our cover was we are bean counters,
Okay.
operating on behalf of bean counters, as I recall.
It's been a month. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I feel you, buddy.
Administratum is not a far much. If you say it when you say it, you get a confused look as, you know, at least two of you are wearing Imperial Guard flak gear, and one is dressed as an Arpatus. They might not entirely be sure of the role of the Adeptus Mechanicum.
And you know, my visor has the symbol like right there on the forehead, so that doesn't really hide it too well.
But they politely nod. Then, honourable guest of the Administratum, we humbly serve you as we serve Lord Augustus.
I trust we will be provided with quarters.
Quarters, and I will say that you're well fed. Presumably you've had a long trip today. You must be hungry.
I think we would all like to freshen up before we eat anything.
Maybe I could send you some spirits at least to warm you through while you clean the dirt of the road off of yourselves.
I think some of us need to use the little girl's room, so if you could point us in that direction, that would be excellent.
Amenity, of course. He points to one of the servants. Lead Master Aurelian to the amenities, and make sure that you make sure that he gets to his quarters safely.
He'd look back at everybody and be like, hospitality. And you notice he sort of like rest his hand closer to his gun.
He'd, yes, lead the rest of our Imperial guests to their quarters, the guest quarters. Provide them fresh water to clean themselves. He wouldn't want to risk spreading any germs or diseases, Master Aurelian.
Slocum would just sort of nod quietly and sort of gesture a hand to like a lead the way kind of thing.
Z kind of snaps out of staring off into space for the moment and like follows suit with Oakham, like kind of like mimicking his motion, like, please show us where I would like to rest my old bones for but a moment.
Two of the servants lead the four of you to quite comfortable, well decorated guest quarters, while one of the servants takes Fars to the bathroom.
Nice.
I think we can pause there to take a quick break.
All right. Don't go
All
anywhere,
right.
anybody. We were going to take a quick 5 to 10, and when we will return, you will get to see some more Dark Heresy Path of Contrition. Don't go anywhere, anybody. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all so very much for being patient and waiting. I sure do appreciate it. I believe when we last left off, we were gathering from showers, probably, after getting cleaned up. Unless Aurelian was doing something else. I don't know what
You
Rush was
just
doing.
have that homoerotic shower scene with all the...
Hell yeah.
I dropped the soap.
God.
Oh no.
No TOS.
So,
Trying to give
Um,
JJ what she comes here for.
I actually did have some questions myself about our accommodations.
Yes.
So, how many people are in our accommodations? Is it one person per room, or is it multiple people per room? And how expansive are they?
It's like adjoining rooms to a small communal area.
Okay. Gotcha. So we kind of have a wing to ourselves,
Yeah.
like smaller private areas, but it's still kind of like one dormitory we operate out of.
Yeah, and there's archways and stuff that overlook the gardens that surround the main building.
I too have a question,
Okay.
Andy. How's the water pressure in the shower? No, that is my roundabout way of saying, like, so things are nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Decent pressure. Feels like you're getting a bottle.
I mean, the accommodations, like the interior's nice and fancy. What we would normally
Everything-
envision reading in a book.
Everything is meticulously clean.
I like this.
Ooh. Meticulously clean. Ooh.
Yeah, I think even Open would take a shower here. Sounds nice.
How do you do that without rusting?
You'd have to take a peek and find out if you were so curious.
I'll pass, but I'm assuming you're gonna do like something similar to like masking. You know, like how like before you're about to spray paint something, you like put masking tape over it.
That would be actually a really cool idea.
Andy like that.
Yeah, it's
just don't hit from the same angle. Yeah.
In
No.
reality, it's just a bath of oil.
You like Bender. Like I'm taking a
think you'll
fucking
be-
shower here.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, no. He would eventually reappear, I imagine, in whatever common area there would be of the dormitory. Sort of like somewhat cleaner appearing, like armor somewhat polished up and everything. Yeah. Probably even smell a little bit like, I'd be willing to say something like a nice incense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do we have a secure encrypted communication channel back to the Path of Contrition?
You would, yeah.
While I take a military shower, if you don't know what that means, it means I'm efficient as hell. I go in with shampoo in one hand, body wash in the other, and
Slap.
yep,
Ouch.
2.5 minutes and I'm gone. Just enough time to actually get clean from the road. But I very quickly vox back to the Path of Contrition, an update where we are, what's going on, everything that we've been told so far that Judas would know. I would send that through, I imagine, some kind of like coded shorthand that our Inquisitor made us memorize and learn.
You get a very to the point response of good work, and may the Emperor protect. Keep us updated with any changes to your situation, and we will try and get a pinpoint on your location on the planet's surface in case you need any assistance.
I don't send any response. I don't assume they would need one.
In case you didn't, assistance. By assistance, we mean orbital cleansing from above.
But yeah, I'm cleaning the gunk in the mire off of my weapons, my sword, all that stuff. So whoever else wants to go. I mean, I assume we're all gonna have a meeting once everybody is.
You know, I figure shortly after you, and probably be willing to take a look at your firearm and take his time to take to basically take 10 or the equivalent. I can't remember the exact mechanic. What's the where you take your time and you just get like the average result in this game? Is that a thing still?
I can't remember. I know it was a thing in the first edition.
I'll take a look and see.
Yeah. It's like you essentially get the bare minimum to pass a roll.
Yeah, exactly. There's a film intense difficulty. A success and failure. Let's see.
What are the other three doing while Judith's communicating with the ship and Oakum is taking a look over Judith's firearm?
I'm not wearing my armor for once, so if you're familiar with TTS, just think of the fucking custodies, and that's all right.
So chest bare and oil all over you.
100%, yeah. As I was taught by my forefathers.
Poses like this.
And their forefathers were taught before them.
I do love the idea the character Vogue JoJo's around the room. Like, how are you doing?
100%, yeah.
A Roman oil bath.
Basically, full on. What's his face from Full Metal Alchemist? Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Juice looks good and he knows it. Yeah.
You and Corbin Spartan bath each other and scrape oil off of each other. Good soldiers.
Astro with the resub. Thank you so much. Much love, Astro.
Zeke would attempt to grab either Corvin or Vars, just kind of quickly stating quickly stating that he needs someone to keep an eye out while he does something. If either of them will, I don't know if Corvin will after what happened outside.
Yeah, Corvin definitely looks very uncomfortable, does not take part in any of the amenities, and probably stands near or right next to the entrance to this room, and is in a semi sort of relaxed position, but not really.
Lars will keep watch. Besides, he has to get his mustache wax going.
Since he has a moment, Zeke would like to attempt to reach out and feel if there's any warp anomalies or psychers trying to do something around here, especially after his foretelling reading before. I imagine that's prescience, yeah?
Yep, that'd be a prescience roll.
Alright. Regular, no modifier, correct?
No modifier, no.
Alright.
Hell yeah!
4 degrees of success.
Nice.
Okay. Now, you don't get any strong sense of the warp from within the complex. There's a little bit of residual warp energy around all of the biomatter, so all of the plant life and stuff here has a residual warp signature from it. That
kind of like something affected it some time ago, but not.
Yeah,
recently.
And it's strange to you that it has similarities to the warp influence of your home planet, but different at the same time. But what strikes you most is the strongest presence of warp energy does not reside here in the complex. You can feel it from within the town, on the highest hill within the town.
So kind of like where the chapel was?
Somewhere within the chapel.
When Zeke kind of disconnects himself from this, not wanting to linger too long and risk himself being taken notice of, He's going to kind of walk over to Corvin and kind of like stand there for a moment, like glancing at the door before like looking down to him, and he kind of like waves for him to come a little closer as he kind of like kneels over and is actually gonna like undo the thing as he kind of makes signs that he needs to whisper something to him. I'm totally imagining the disgusted look on his face from seeing the lipless mouth area again.
Ew.
Guys,
What do you want?
Someone like me is in that chapel.
Great. Wonderful. Why are you telling me?
Because since you are on top of it, they might be crying to come for you. So
They already were.
more so than that, I mean, steal your mind if you can. And he's gonna like then leave him and go to find and let Vars know as well before he's gonna try and find Judas and Oakham when they return to inform them as well.
Oh, I imagine we're in the common room, right?
yeah, no, Oakham's in there working on that.
Oh, I would. This would have been like when you started your shower for a second, so I don't know if you're quite back yet. But he'll go let Oakham know, and then when Judas comes back, he will inform him as well.
That's fair. I think Oakham probably will be out of the shower after Judas, because he doesn't take military showers. He's a little more involved with his ablutions than the average person, being with a bunch of pipes and such. But yes, I get I get what you're saying.
The intention is not putting it over Vox just in case.
That's fair.
He also made a note to turn his Vox off when he was telling everybody before turning it back on. I'll add that. But that's me.
Also, I just want to let you know, Andy, I scoured the rolls. There is no sign of taking 10. You gotta take your rolls. Unless you want to rule on a taking 10 house roll, I will make a roll if I have to.
Yeah, I think as long as you've got plenty of time to, do the thing. Yeah, you can take a bare minimum.
Maybe muted.
Yeah. I think as long as you've got enough time to do it, you can do it with just the bare minimum.
You can't hear him? Omni?
Oh no.
Omni, you can't hear any of us? Oh,
Let's
no.
make fun of him while he can't hear us. Omni, you're such a handsome devil.
You got such luxurious locks.
Facial hair.
I'm jealous of your hair.
Damn,
Oh.
Oakham.
I love those cool tech glasses too.
They are
Thank
pretty
you.
cool.
Oh, there he
Could
is.
you repeat all of that? Because I wasn't muted. My elbow rolled my mic control and literally dropped the volume to 0. Because I was like, the hell is going on? So, sorry about that.
I was
Andy.
talking about how I'm jealous of your hair.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm very much happy with it.
Yeah, I pretty much said that if you've got enough time to do the prep beforehand, then yeah, you can take a bare minimum pass.
Okay. Yeah, he'll do that. As he, in the common room, I imagine there's a table or something, and he'll take out a small roll of red cloth from around. I figure he has like a couple of them rolled around on his back, sort of like almost like towels, only a much neater version of the mechanic's towel. Take it out, unroll the silk cloth, take the guns that Judas has offered to tune up, and slowly take them apart piece by piece. His drone overhead, scanning them, helping his optics sort of scanning them as well, and literally him just like slowly tinkering little bit by bit, the giant stave like deconstructing into this very fine manipulator to sort of like pull apart tiny parts, like disassemble and reassemble the whole thing, super methodical. So he's going by as much STC as he. No improvising today.
I bow and show reverence for what you're doing. I like stop what I'm doing when you're like doing your chanting and binary and everything.
You actually hear no chanting whatsoever. He is dead silent. How often have you been around tech priests? Question mark.
I imagine that I definitely at least was around a couple of them that worked, like in maintaining our stuff when I was in the war. At some point, I had to have been around some tech priests.
Yeah, probably help maintain some of the armored vehicles and stuff like that for your regiment.
I think you would definitely notice there's something weird about how Oakham does his work. Oakham is not doing what your standard tech priest would do, where you would have multi stages of prayer and a great deal of sensors. None of that. It's very cold, very clinical. It looks almost kind of like a far more up angle, like an upscaled version of like an Imperial Guard disassembling and reassembling the rifle. Like this is like a much more advanced version of stripping or manufacturing. There is no, from what you can see or observe outwardly anyway, any kind of devotional component to what he's doing. He's just disassembling, reassembling with great care and a reverence of a sort, but not a reverence to a deity, a reverence to the task he has. If that. But like, you hear nothing. Nothing at all. Only the occasional beep from his drone and then like dead silence again.
Heresy, Judas. Heresy.
Can I roll scrutiny?
Pause, yeah.
Probably gonna fail. I got a 94.
The second you said it, I was like, it is. You top decked it. We know what's coming.
I bow and I say, your craftsmanship and dedication to the task at hand is admirable, Tech Priest, and I am appreciative that you would look after my weapon.
Oakham nods as he works and slowly turns his masked metal face to look back up at you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I will do my best to see your equipment remains functional. It is well cared for.
I hand you my flamer. This is the thing I care way more about than my rifle. My rifle has sentimental value, but this flamer was a gift from my long-lost love who died.
He takes the flamer with one of his actual hands. You know, it's still a prosthetic, but like one of his humanoid hands. Sort of takes it and holds it in front of him. Is there any way I can analyze how rare this technology is?
It's just a stock standard flamer, I imagine.
Stock standard flamer? Okay.
It's got a wrist mount. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wrist mounted probably makes it a little bit more unique.
That's fair, yeah. Sort of looks at it, nods approvingly, opens it, and sort of allows the drone to sort of go through, tighten screws where he can, assess the level of promethium inside of it, slowly retune it, again, taking his time. He's in no hurry. Eventually hands it back to him. It is a beautiful piece. I very much enjoy the methodology and design. Not quite standard, somewhat modified, intriguing.
There's a brief moment where like a smirk breaks across Judas's face, and I say, you should have seen that. And then I look to who I'm talking to for a moment, and yeah, real special.
He nods. Slowly stands up, gathers his tools, and rolls them up and starts putting them away. Sort of pausing for a second before he looks up to Judas. I am no specialist in matters imperial, but he cocked his head. What the boy said, that was blatantly heresy, was it not, by your standards?
I don't know what it was, but what I do know is that I certainly felt something when he said it. All the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. It's only happened once before. We were clearing out. Corbin was there, he could tell you, just the same as I imagine the rest of you are probably all here at the same time.
Or at least gathering, I imagine, yeah.
Yeah. Urban warfare, when we were taking over the sector. We stumbled upon some shrine. I don't know what it was, but... Well, the sisters, they put the flame to it awful quick. I got that same feeling.
Good. Then I was, he sort of squints his eyes a little bit, somewhat correct in my assessment, if not somewhat overzealous. Sort of adjusts himself, looking to see who else is here right now at the table. Broadly
I'm
asking.
not at the table, but I'm in the common room over by the door.
I'm leaning against the wall, chain smoking.
If you wish to bring me your weapons, I can tune them up.
Nope, you ain't touching my shit. You see him take a low stick and just light another one with it. He tossed the other one on the ground with no respect for the place.
Oakham would not, taking no offense. Slowly turning towards Corvus and gesturing with an outstretched hand if he would be interested.
If you want, and he brings over the long las, which is currently in its own pieces at the moment, broken down to be put into his pack and hidden.
He would take the weapon, set it down on the cloth again, disassemble the whole thing, literally inch by inch, sort of go over it to ensure its functionality.
It's heavily modified and like changed and upgraded and personalized. It's got a modified stock, sight, a red dot sight, modified like chamber round. It like probably looks unlike any armory handout weapon that is normally seen.
That would definitely, like, Owen would be working a little more, like, he would be working as permanently as he did on the other ones, of course, but this one has interest for him. Sort of takes a look at all the strange, like, aftermarket mods and reworks on it. Then
Sort of thing
reassembles
that a regular tech priest would probably yell at you for.
Perfect. Oh, I love it.
How dare you modify a weapon?
Can I make a tech use roll to like assess how extensively, like, would this be considered tech heresy?
Probably not quite as far as tech heresy, but the fact that it's been done by the hands of an Imperial Guardsman and not a regulated process undertaken by a tech priest is
Fair.
insulting.
Oakham would, like, he would reassemble the weapon in initially one piece, hold it up and sort of feel the weight, then take it and break it back down into its transport components, sort of take the cloth that he had, wrap it around it, and then hand him back the whole thing, including the cloth. And inside of it is also the ungen oil that he was going to give the kid until the kid turned into a terrible heretic and didn't deserve it anymore.
Yeah, just suddenly transformed into the heretic. He wasn't just,
A heretic already.
Yeah, no, exactly. He always was. I just discovered it. And hand him back the cloth with the ungen in it. I sort of point to it and just say, if you need to make a shot, that may help. A lovely weapon. Keep up your good work.
Was that a haiku?
I guess it was.
Yeah, you probably would have noticed that he's been like watching you at least with pretty great interest as you've taken apart the weapons continuously, and when you hand it back to him and tell him that he's, oh, thank you. It's kind of a pastime hobby of mine. I mean, this one, wasn't completely done by me, but most of it's my work.
Good. That is how it should be. He's going to slowly stand up and sort of look around the room and just assess to see who else, to make sure everyone is here. Just kind of slowly clap his hands. So, what is our next move?
Well, didn't we kind of figure out our mission already? Like, there's obviously some kind of weirdness going on here, and they're causing the veggies to go bad.
Yep, and I reckon that we do the best plan of action that the Imperium has to offer. And by that, I mean orbital bombardment. After we take care of whatever's going on in that chapel.
I agree.
Bada bing, bada boom. Emphasis on the boom part.
I concur. This location seems compromised.
I have a succinct feeling that this Augustus is going to be a very large problem.
It's because he's fat. No, but on all seriousness. He will.
The youth venerate him.
Can't venerate somebody that's dead. Well, I guess that'd make him a martyr. Think about that.
Because the Imperium literally does it every day.
You can't disappoint your men if you're dead.
Orbital bombardment may be the best course of action, but not before we take out whatever it is that's allowing this network to fester. If we stomp it out, it's only going to grow up somewhere else unless we excise the cancer from this planet.
We need to know how far the rot goes. Before I could feel the remnants of witchcraft within the plant life around us. But the strongest tick, the strongest presence I felt, like mine, is within that chapel. I don't know much of it. Perhaps many of these people are beguiled because of the food that they obviously consume, or whether it's they've been raised on it. Those that are young seem to be expressant. When one begins treatment, they're reactive until they grow used to it. It could be, if we wipe out what's going on in that chapel and leave eyes to keep watch, that many of these people might be freed if they're not too far gone.
That's what youth.
That's what was done on my planet.
And look how you turned out.
I'm sanctioned by the Imperial. I'm sanctioned.
You're also a psyker. None of these people are extraordinary.
But one of them, there's one.
Hey.
in that chapel.
Then we take him out, and then glass the rest of it.
If need be.
And then we can send in a little fire squad and clean things up. Real neat like.
We need to ensure that wherever this rot stems from, that it can't be allowed to fester. Occam, do you believe that with a sample you might be able to synthesize toxin?
Can I make any kind? Is there any role I could make that would allow me to figure out an answer to that? I know for a fact Occam has no understanding of Medicaid, or at least that's not his training. So would that even be within his wheelhouse?
No.
Okay.
We need the Medicaid training.
Oakham would slowly turn and incline his head. My skills are with the machine, not with poison or flesh, unfortunately.
That's one option out the window.
Might I suggest we confer with the Inquisitor directly? I could attempt to establish a... And he sort of like squints for a second behind the mask before he looks up again. Almost lost the word. Hardened connection link with the ship. Ensure no ears are listening. This would be a significant operation and could potentially jeopardize our secrecy in this region if we were to go loud, as the guard would put it.
No, that's how I'd put it too. Lean against the wall and light another glow stick.
It may at least behoove us to be certain that the Inquisitor would be willing to make that move at this point.
Alright, quit your rattling can, man. Get a call going.
They're triangulating our position already. If they need to send back up, all we have to do is vox them.
Right? If there's a way, Oakham would like to try to harden communication, so there's like 0 chance of being intercepted.
Yeah, no, that would be a tech goose roll.
Heck yeah, let's try it. Come on, cowboy.
99!
Don't say that.
That's like break your leg.
177.
Yeah! Yeah! I just gotta break your leg. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We have to say 99 and then the dice are like, oh, well, we gotta disappoint them.
Wait, is 55 Malak?
Good stuff.
Better hope not.
God of chaos and the fire.
He pops in like, I don't have any strong feelings one way or another, bye.
Chaos god of apathy.
I just don't fucking care, dude. Like, he's like looks back to his Xbox and puts his headset back on.
You come back to me once Games Workshop will rope me back into the lore.
Get out of my room! I'm playing Minecraft.
Okay. Yeah, Oakham, you reckon that your connection to the wings of Contrition is as secure as you're going to get it.
Oakham would...
To break that signal, you would have to be a tech priest who is at least as good, if not better, than you are.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good then.
Or you could kill him.
You seem very sure about that.
Oakham would, as he's doing this process, take like a small bud of metal out from behind his mask, which is probably his comm bead, put it into the drone Helpy, and it sort of hovers down and opens up the comm line as like a group call. As Oakham nods to the group, the line is secure.
Inquisitor Tiberius situation has not changed. Please advise.
Give me the details of the situation.
I want Zeke to explain his part that he knows, Occam to explain the part that he knows, and if anybody else has any part to explain that they know. I don't really know anything.
Zeke, when he takes in, is gonna speak in the full coded speech, basically explaining that there is at best an unsanctioned psychic entity here at the chapel. At worst, an unsanctioned psychic warp entity infesting the nearby area.
Oakham would literally just replay the clip of what he heard from the boy, and also describe his observation that it appears as though as if Augustus has enthralled people, or very least has gotten the kids to venerate him, literally more so than would seem wise in this circumstance. Also, that they seem exceptionally prone to violence, except at his direct command.
Uh, Tiberette goes quiet for a moment. Augustus Tigers is a veteran of the Notara Crusade. Unfortunately, a veteran on opposing sides to the Imperium. I have questioned why Admiral Notara even gave some of the so-called men and women who resided here under the rule of Sino the opportunity to repent in the eyes of the Emperor. Ezekiel, with what you mentioned, is true within a chapel of the great God Emperor, no less. That such a malignant source of disease and corruption could reside. The odds of you fighting your way through the town with Hybric and his defence forces, as well as the youth of the settlement being armed and aggressive, the chance of you reaching back to the ship are slim, I would say at best. What are your likelihoods of sneaking into the chapel?
I think everyone looks at Corbin for a second.
Well, I mean, I got near the temple and they opened fire on me, Inquisitor. That alone, I think we should breach and clear every home here and just take down the whole village. If it were me. We could easily commandeer one of these large tanks and drive it through any of the buildings we need to. I don't think sneaking is a possibility. They are more than likely guarding it, watching it. If they're that upset about someone going near it, they're probably have patrols and more than likely will spot any person trying to enter.
Could always leave it to me.
That gives me an idea, Corvin. What's your idea, Bars?
Well, these people have seen I'm a bit more amicable, so perhaps I could sort of weave my way through the crowd. I've been prone to infiltrate places, particularly ones I'm not supposed to be in.
What do you propose?
I could sneak right in, get some information, and leave. And let me make a plan from there.
If I'm not mistaken, if they have an unsanctioned psyker there, as Zeke believes, wouldn't your presence not go unnoticed? I'm not well versed in such things.
Neither am I. You look over at Zeke.
Well, if I so desired, I could know things that my eyes, my ears, my nose wouldn't tell me. It's safe to assume they might perhaps have themselves ready, especially with our presence being known.
I have an idea, Zeke. I ain't no fancy schmancy psych or nothing, but I reckon that you could create some sort of, if you can sense their presence, what's saying that they can't sense yours? So what you do is you create some sort of beacon, some sort of obvious, really big thing, acts as a distraction, so they don't notice me come.
So that we don't burn out our psyker, what if we just hotwire one of their repurposed tanks?
That wouldn't distract the psyker. It would distract the people, so that's an idea. But
Inquisitor, do you have access to any records for this town, structurally, that I might be able to look at? Or do I have authorization to seize those from the local authorities?
I will have the administratum of the planet send me over any schematics and details that they have of the settlement, and I will have them sent to your data slate.
He nods and turns to everyone else. If, perhaps, there is a compromise, if there is a sewer structure within this region, or some other subterranean method of approach, we could implement a distraction and approach from below. If this psyker may sense something coming, maybe we might be able to curveball it and make not aware of precisely what angle, or an angle even its senses aren't able to point out. Then directly below may be the best way in.
It's a good plan, Malcolm.
Well, if and we need a distraction, I'm sure that we can make a distraction between the two of us here.
Is there any chance for dropped ordnance, high explosives?
That would be a negative.
Understood.
The damage that such ordnance would do to the region of the planet would be detrimental to not just the immediate area, but for miles beyond the explosion and detonation zone, resulting in the planet no longer being as valuable to the Imperium as it currently is.
Controlled
Avoiding
explosives, then if we could have melta-bombs sent to us, we could take out the temple from below.
That would still require some direct intervention. If you feel that the situation is beyond your capabilities,
No,
I could maybe
not-
send in a
no.
more...
No. I will handle it.
As for what I could do, the bells that I can manifest, much of them would be to remove our fatigue. I can make our resident head popper even better at popping heads, or make sure their weapons hold the Emperor's blessing. And I can reach my perception out. So the most I could do to perhaps distract is to push my perception beyond my limits. Risks, however, the risks perhaps outweigh the benefits. But if it's the only course of action we have for a distraction, I give my life for the Emperor.
No use in killing men when you might still get use out of them. Let's find another way. We will see it done, Inquisitor. I look to the rest of you as if, like, do we have anything else to say to him?
Nods. He's done.
It isn't too long after you end your conversation with the Inquisitor that Oakham, you have an alert of some sort on your data slate. You have schematics of the settlement. The settlement is obviously post-Imperial conquest, hence the fact that there's an Imperial chapel, and all the technological aspects that have been added to the buildings and things are all of Imperial design. They've eliminated all signs of Tau architecture and things on the face of the planet. Which means it has Imperial amenities and systems. So there will be a sewage system running beneath all of the buildings, including the Imperial Chapel within the town.
He would pull out the data slate and sort of expand it out, and the glass would seemingly, extend outwards as he looks at it. Sort of holds it out, runs one of his metal hands over, and it kind of expands a little bit. It like seems to scan it almost like a printer head as he's looking through it. Excellent. The sewers are, in fact, viable. He would put it down. There are a number of maintenance corridors parallel to the sewers, as well as the sewers themselves. That should allow us to avoid, thanks for a second, standing in sewage for the most part, but utilizing the actual sewers themselves. And they would be well constructed to avoid corrosion. The settlement would likely not mind them or trap them, though there may be some form, I'd imagine, of perhaps observational security. It seems unlikely, though. He sort of thinks about it. It seems unlikely that they would actually have the resources to properly secure it, but in that event, I could attempt to dismantle such a security system as we encroach on it.
Sounds like we have our entrance point, fellas. Lock and load. Get ready to move out.
Zeke will look over to Oakham and draw his lad's pistol and offer it forward and say, I might be late, but just be sure it won't misfire on me, please.
Reaches out and takes the pistol and looks at it and nods, and immediately disassembles it again and begins the process. Offers one last time. Anyone who needs their gear touched up, now would be the time. So,
do you have a laser on one of your mechadendrites? Or an etching tool of some sort?
Oh, most assuredly. His drone and also his stave both have, I would imagine, a number of laser cutters, as well as also probably like literal pneumatic punchers. They're basically like a workshop in a stick, more or less, or like in this case, in the form of a drone roughly the size of 2 frisbees with a football between them. So
even though I don't have the armor that I served in during my time in the Maccabean Janissaries, I just have this kind of like uniform flak helmet on. I ask, as I put it on top of all the rest of my armor, I say, would you mind? And I kind of show you a data slate of how our masks are supposed to look with the tier.
Oakham would certainly try to replicate that, if that's possible.
Yeah.
As you're doing last-minute maintenance to equipment, the doors to the communal room that you have slide open, and a group of 4 of these white-robed, plain-faced servants come in. Master Augustus has requested that you come and join him for a discussion and some refreshment.
Try like mid-laser like etching on the mask. Oakham would sort of like turn towards everyone else and sort of like nod in the we should probably do this not to arouse suspicion kind of way.
Zeke, as they come in and do this, is gonna lift his rebreather back up to his face and start reconnecting it as repressurization kind of goes along, and kind of looks towards Oakham, taking the nod, and steps forward a little bit and says, well, better late than never, I guess. I'm parched.
Let's see what he has to say then.
And for a split second, like, there's a weird loud hiss starts to kind of come off as he undoes one of the tubes one more time and reinserts it, as this kind of like green viscous gas just kind of radiates around his face for a minute as a little bit of his vital fluids escape.
Your Bane! You have the Bane mask.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping all my gear on. I don't know about you guys, but Yeah, I'm
Oh yeah, 100%.
slinging
Oh.
my rifle over my shoulder.
Yep. If anything, Zeke's doing this to kind of give the little tiny air of.
You would receive your pistol back, by the way.
Thank you, and he will proceed to pistol whip, or I mean, kidding, to holster it.
I don't think that's the guy you want to pistol with.
Nope. I
Um,
don't think I want a pistol whip, anyways. I think I want to smite.
then yeah, they take you through this ornate complex. Some of you during your time in the system may have had the joy of maybe seeing a grand building such as this that had been newly built, maybe to receive medals or whatever during your military service or for your military service. And from experience, you know that the homes of imperial governors and officials and stuff tend to be decorated, usually in symbols of the Imperium, the Emperor, murals and things depicting the victories and stuff that have been part of the system's history. This house has none of that. There are no gold gilded embellishments depicting imperial iconography. There's no murals depicting imperial victories. But everything is spotlessly clean. And you're brought into this grand dining room with a table spread out, covered in a pristine white tablecloth, clean plates, glasses with multitude of the finest liquors you would expect an imperial noble to have, with massive, overgrown, overly fresh and healthy looking fruits and vegetables, and even cuts of meat and livestock laid out on the table. And Augustus sits at the far end, his belly barely kept in. Ah, my imperial guests, please take a seat.
Right over to a chair and uses a servo arms to pull it in for himself. He sits down, somewhat neatly.
Zeke will take a seat at one of the corner places, unholstering the skull from the back of his hip and resting it right on the table facing him.
Yeah, I just very efficiently use my foot to pull the chair out and then sit down on it, like, you know, a couple of inches away from the table.
You notice now in this chamber, this room, that Augustus's attention, he now sort of takes the time to take all five of you in. And you notice his focus shifts to Seek on multiple occasions. Strange that the Administratum have never sent such personnel to speak to me before. Is there a problem that I should be made aware of?
Why, yes. There is. Can't help but feel we're running a little short on time.
Unfortunately, they sent a small bundle of us. You know how these Imperial Lords are. They send what little scrappage they can. I'm lucky enough to be able to still hold my eyes, even though I help lead the ships. I'm merely here just... Yes, I'd be bored on the ship all by myself anyways.
He sells
Surely
himself
you
short.
understand.
The witch can tell if you're lying.
Is there food on the table, by the way?
Yeah, tons of food.
Oaken would actually reach a mechadendrite out and just sort of like grab a single like piece of like if there's like a carrot or something, just like grab a single carrot, lift the mask, and you hear like a crunching as if he'd be eating under slowly lower the mask again. He doesn't say anything about this, just observing.
Can I get a willpower roll?
Yeah.
My brother in the Imperium, why would you eat that?
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
And you got a
Oh no!
99!
Siege,
Well-
you motherfucker!
This is the reason why I have a fate point, if I may.
There you go.
Because I literally
My
can't
God.
do any worse than that. So,
Well, you could do a 77 and have someone have a granddaddy talk
wow.
to you.
Oh, you got
my
a 98, so yeah,
fucking
technically...
God.
That's better than 99.
Are
Okay,
we
that's
sure
better.
that we don't have like a D2 and it's just the two sides are 99 and 98? Because I'm a little concerned here.
That's
I
insane!
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
This is what you get for rolling a nat 1. They gave you the other 99 right up front.
Yeah, that's true.
Failing this willpower roll is actually probably your best interest.
Oh,
That's
okay.
good.
In fact, can I get willpower rolls from the rest of you sitting at the table?
Oh no.
But I'm not eating!
Meep. Any modifier?
Hey,
I
we're
will
all
always
chilling. It's good stuff.
I will always ask a modifier. You never know when there will be.
Everyone step
Oh,
up
excellent.
to the cart.
Oh, go Vars!
Oh, fuck.
Oh, go the guardsmen! The psyker warns the guardsmen to steal your mines. They steal their mines. The psyker does not.
Okay. Fars and Corvin. As you watch Oakham bite into the carrot and start to chew on it, you can see the little bits of half-eaten maggot and stuff starting to fall out of his mouth. Can you both roll me a d5?
Oh!
Sure, boss.
That's how many insanity points you're gonna get yourself. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good. at least.
Guardsmen! That's what I'm talking about, boys!
Nice.
One insanity point each. None of the rest of your companions seem to register it, including Oakham. And just the two of you, since the two of you succeeded on this roll, can you both give me a scrutiny roll?
Pass. No, don't do that.
86.
I
Okay.
can, but I'm never going to roll.
Oh
well.
my god, we're so
94.
cursed.
It's
Guys,
something about Wednesdays, folks.
Yeah,
I
we
can
should be.
Dumb, but can anybody tell me if there's a spot for insanity points?
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
doing-
insanity points are in Psychana, I want to say. No, not Psychana. It's advancements.
Thank you.
Maybe it's because you're both trying not to throw up in your mouth. But both of you fail to notice the smug, almost joyful smile spreading across Augustus's big fat frog-like face.
So I'm gonna press my bluff, probably, and say, I'm sure you have a logical reason for why the tides have not been adequate. I would hear that now, Augustus. I just call him by his first name, no honorific or anything.
Well, both tithe for resources, human and otherwise, is hard to obtain. With the youth of the surrounding area, as you've seen, being quite hostile to the idea of imperial rule, many of them take to hiding within the countryside as outlaws and bandits, taking their own share of whatever crop is available.
Are you telling me that you're incapable of ruling the land that you've been given fiefdom over? Pulling the same exact shit that my fucking Inquisitor just pulled on me.
I choose to overlook the actions of a small group in favour of keeping the majority of the populace here content. No one wants another civil war to erupt.
Well, let me introduce a proposition to you, Mr. Augustus. You have a bandit problem. We have guns. Perhaps we can deal with that for you. And if your tithes are still coming up short, we can come back.
I think this gentle reminder from the Imperium will help me motivate my defense forces to take care of the problem a little bit more firmly. There shouldn't be any need for you to return. I assure you I will take care of the problem personally, and you fine gentlemen can return to more important business within the system.
Hey, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
While this conversation is going on, Oaken is chewing on, or has chewed on the carrot. He hasn't gotten any more, he just was sort of like a singular nibble. He's using his optical mechadendrite to sort of like look around the room from his seated position. Are there any guards in the room?
Yes, there are PDF forces, and there are a surprisingly large number of those white-robed servant.
Do any of them have any Imperial eagles or skulls on their gear?
No, in fact, the guard-like flak armor has been almost filed completely clean of any Imperial insignia.
I assume that Corbin and I definitely would have noticed that.
Now that you're closer to them and you've got a bit more time to kind of analyze the room, yeah.
Well, that is wonderful news. Gentlemen, I do believe it is probably time for us to return to our quarters. We have had a long day, and I, for one, would like to appreciate more of this hospitality before we disembark tomorrow.
I concur.
I guess you've barely touched any of the fine meal that's been set out for you.
Spent a lot of time in the guard. I just can't bring myself to eat anything other than corpse starch.
That carrot was more than sufficient for my catalytic converters. I should be good for the next 8 hours.
I'm fasting. Good for the metabolism.
Oh, and Augustus, if we do have to return, it will be with a lot more men and a lot more guns.
I see. I see. The point is made. I will ensure that my forces are dealing with this shortage and rebellious youth.
Wonderful, gentlemen.
And
I
Brother Ezekiel, before you leave, I would like to say that you shouldn't speak so lowly of yourself or the condition that you're in.
am but a humble servant. I am below every and all. Though I hold myself in high esteem, I understood. I hope
We're
you understand.
all but humble servants.
If it he kind of like groans again as the same valve kind of breaks away and hiss and starts to release like kind of a hiss as he kind of like crunches over a little bit and goes to reattach it again and looks to Oakham and says out loud, I might need help getting my filtration system working again. I can't necessarily eat while it keeps going like this.
Oakham extends a hand to him, sort of gestures towards the door. Proceed. I shall repair it.
And he kind of holds the tube up as it's continuing to hiss a little bit, and he gives a low bow and says, So sorry for the interruption, Augustus. Sir. If you'll excuse me. And
Enjoy your quarters.
He'll get up, gather the skull once more, and put it to the back, kind of like Mimir's head, and start to move out of the room. Every so often, letting the valve just release as more and more of this gas filtration just kind of emanates.
Oakham is literally like holding you by like the hand and kind of like a "this way, sir" kind of gesture as his mechadendrites sort of like hover like a snake's nest around your pipe. Can I tell that you obviously broke that intentionally as a means of getting out of here? Like just a cursory glance, like you just disengaged it from its housing.
In response, Ezekiel's visor just accidentally falls in front of his face, but as he kind of pushes it up.
Okay. Oakham does not point out the fact that you probably just like thumbed a button to release the pipe.
Nope, that's what he was doing. He twisted it in wrong back at the other room.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you can get back to your quarters.
As soon as you get back to the quarters, he's gonna like look at Oakham, look to the doorway, and step out of the way, and he's gonna gather himself again, and he's gonna reach out again, but while we wait for everybody else to come back.
I think we might have been the last ones leaving, right?
Yeah,
I think
I
everyone
think
else is
so.
already moving.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, then my bad.
Yeah, you good.
We need to move, like, now. Where's that maintenance hatch, Oakham?
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
No, Oakham, are you okay?
Oakham's optics sort of like scan the room. Do I feel fine, Andy? Or am I like, or at this point, am I like, I need to go racing to the toilet or something like?
No, you feel okay at the moment. You only
Okay.
ate one carrot here.
Okay. He sort of shrugs. I feel fine. Why?
I'm like forcing your fucking gun bag into your hands, Corbin. Like, build it. We need to move.
Can Oakham make a quick sweep of the room to see if there's any scanning devices using both his drone and his optical scanner? Just to make sure there's no one listening in on us or seeing what we're about to do.
Yeah.
Okay. What roll would I have to make for that?
For that, probably be a security roll.
Okay. Actually have bonus to that.
Nice.
Would I get any bonuses from my optical scanner or drone?
Yeah, plus 10.
Thank you.
I don't know if this gun is worth right now. This might.
Hell yes.
Thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Do you have a modification to make it into a shotgun?
The last gun?
What did I tell you after that run-in with those crew? You need a modification to make it into a shotgun.
I mean, I can change the power setting on it, but like they only allow me to get so much. Like, I mean, half the stuff I got for my main gun, I got it secretly. If you know what I mean.
Oakham, as you scan the room, looking for signs of listening devices or anything that might be spying upon the quarters that you've been given. You detect a number of communication signals around the room.
Oakham.
And as
Go ahead.
as you're narrowing in the closest one to you, can everyone give me an awareness roll?
Heck yeah. Okay.
Is this have to do with being surprised?
Yes, it does.
Oh, I have advantage or something on this one. Check.
Oh,
Wait.
no.
I do get to re-roll this because of keen eyes, such this minus 10, so I'm just at 10 now.
I can re-roll it because a suspicious mind is a healthy.
Son of fun.
Son of a bitch. I did not cast my warp perception yet, so it's like, oh no.
Roll that.
That's a
no.
99. Oh my god,
So I
good
also
reroll.
went with a suspicious mind is a healthy mind, can re-roll any awareness test that has to do with being surprised.
Good, because you were about to look into the Great Changer's eyes.
While Oakgum is clearly sweeping around the room for listening devices, Judas is urgently trying to get things sorted to leave as quick as possible. Zeke's mind is maybe drifting back to those last days on Flagellum. And Fars is just having a number of smokes. Being blissfully unaware.
He's asking me for one. He's bugging me for one.
Corbin, you can hear a number of you're familiar with the sound of marching feet, and there are a group of marching feet coming towards the door of this room from both sides of the corridor outside of the communal chamber. And we are going to finish there.
Awesome.
Oh, Andy!
He's the king of cliffhangers, man.
And we have to deal with them for a month.
I will say. Oh no, God.
Wow. The king of cliffhangers strikes again. God damn it.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
That was so
another banger. I cannot wait. I wish that the month passes swiftly so we can play again.
Yeah, seriously.
Heck yeah.
At the end of that serve, since I was gathering that one, as the sounds coming for him and all that, Zeke's just gonna go with his perceive with his mind the perception of the warp, and get unnatural senses for 10 meters as we end out, so I know it for next time.
Yep.
Oh boy.
You'll know exactly how many men are outside that door.
Way to make it even worse, Zeke. Now the fucking tension's ramped up even higher.
Actually, here's the mistake. I accidentally did Psi rating 1 when I meant to do 2. If I did Psi rating 2, I technically would have passed, but still, so only 10 meters. So now I get to tell you guys how many there are when we get back in a month.
Yay!
yeah, well,
If I remember.
If I remember. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here, my fellow players. Andy, much appreciated. Much love to all of you guys. Let's start us off with shout outs. Red, what's up? Where can people find you? What you up to?
Hello, I'm Red, one of the 3 primary colors. I'm on Derek's channel very much, and if you don't watch Derek's channel, you probably don't see me. Easy as that. Doing my own thing. I'm taking tonight off because I just finished this first season of The Walking Dead last week. I'll pick up with that this coming week. Friday, probably not going to stream because I'm going to stream on Thursday because Magic the Gathering, the new expansion comes out on Arena tomorrow, so I'm going to play that for stream.
go. Tight.
Yeah, I got a couple of more things. I'll try to keep it brief. My book, my very first book, comes out May 3rd, next week. It is $9 on Amazon. It is a dark fantasy novel. If you like gritty shit like Warhammer, you'll probably like this. I tried to make it as historically accurate as possible, obviously with fantastical themes in it, but yeah. And May 5th, Thursday, I'm running my very first game of Cyberpunk Red.
Let's go.
And that's gonna be big, because the people that made Cyberpunk Red followed me, so the pressure's on. Yeah.
It better be
But
good.
embarrass myself. But yeah, Omni's gonna be on that. He's one of our lovely players. We have Kat the Lore Mistress, which this is her first AP. We have Ty Artemis, also their first AP.
Hell
And
yeah.
we have Alakazam, of course, and I'm very
yeah.
much excited to to do that, and because we're going to be doing our session 0 tomorrow, and I'm gonna hit them. I'm gonna hit. Omni doesn't even know what I have in store. I have some.
Oh no, not at all. But I'm so ready.
Hell
Got my
yeah.
Cyberpunk goggles all ready to go.
But yeah, 2 p.m. CST Thursday. Going to be every other Thursday until we complete our campaign.
Dude, that's fucking sick. Oh my god, I can't wait. Well, I will be tuning into that as much as I can. That is super exciting. Everybody go buy Red's book. Are your commissions open?
Map commissions? Yeah, my map commissions are always open. Somebody asked me to do a portrait, and I'm like, not a portrait artist. So, but if you paid me enough, maybe.
Hi.
Yeah, Omni's an art.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Red. Much love, dude.
Of course, Bill.
We will see each other again on Saturday. Can't wait for that. Yo, what's up, buddy?
Hello, I am Keel or Kyle. You can find me on the Twitters at _banana_Kyle, Kiel. I am one of the DMs for New Platinum Content, which is just a group of us friends who play D&D and other video games and tabletops. We're currently playing Masks, a Next Generation, I believe is what it's called, which is a superhero game where you play as teenage superheroes and you're trying to figure out life with superpowers. It's pretty cool. And then we also play a 5e game that is set in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which is one of Wizards of the Coast's books, which is pretty fun. It's a long-lasting campaign we've had for about 2 years now.
Oh, snap.
And that will be coming up Sunday again, Sunday at 12 p.m. Central. Dickest Band of Merry Men on New Platinum Content on Twitch will be an interesting episode, as they've now started a war against a drow household.
Ooh.
That should be super interesting and super fun. And we have a bunch of other things throughout the week, so catch us for different video games and other things throughout the week. But Sunday at 12 is our next D&D game.
That's fantastic. Well, y'all go hang out in his chat until come hang out in ours for Irizumi. Nah, just kidding, dude. Go check out NPC though. They're fucking awesome, man. Much love to you, Kyle. Thank you so much for being here, dude. Here, what's up?
Why, hello there, everybody. I'm Tearbloods, otherwise known as NPC_Tearblood on Twitch. Otherwise, on Twitter, you can find me at TearBloodBigZZZ. I am pretty quiet. I'm the cat. You have to come and find me. It's hard to find, but when you find me, I'm just infectious as hell. Just look at Ezekiel, the mastermind of disgusting things, and oh, I'm missing lips and limbs. There's not too much involved in what I'm doing, but you can catch me doing some very witty and indescribable competition when I happen to join the friends and family of NPC in some of their streams. Any of the times that we happen to be playing Star Wars Battlefront, you'll see me right behind this son of a bitch who's ahead by 300 points a lot. Or pretty soon when me and him are actually feeling froggy about it and feel like actually properly doing the video editing side, you'll probably see us teeing off a bit more of the competitive scene in the 40k universe with the new balance.
Son? You want to leap? Let's go. Let's
Let's leap.
this Knight Tyranid battle next. Let's record this.
Oh yeah, let's look forward to six knights against an army of Crusher Stampede Tyranids that aren't Crusher Stampeding. Ooh. But once again, another army that makes the Parasite not what I want it to be. So table flips all around. But I could keep going forever. But otherwise, please give it a nice warm welcome to the last Omnitech over here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here too.
Oh, the other way.
Yep. I guess it's me then. Huh.
Sorry, I thought he gave you a very nice introduction. I didn't know if you needed me to go.
No, I agree. Hey, no, thank you. No, I appreciate both of you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am the last Omnitech, your favorite robot American, and thank you all so much for tuning in for another amazing episode of 40K, Path of Contrition. You will spot me all over the place on my own Twitch, which is twitch.tv/TheLastOmnitect. The name is kind of the brand and it's everywhere, so you can see me on Twitter. I just opened a Tumblr, which has nothing in it, but it will have something soon. I am opening a Patreon shortly. I'm just trying to get my life together before I commit to actually getting money for things. And I am also currently working on a commission, which I'm going to be getting to shortly after this stream. However, what I'm up to, tomorrow morning, we had the Breakfast Club. I do 3 streams a week. Breakfast Club is the Thursday one where we all hang out, we chat, we play video games, we do art, and y'all are welcome to come in. It'll be 10:30 a.m. EST. Bring your favorite breakfast food, or if you're doing lunch, your own lunch food, whatever. We'll chat, we'll hang, we'll play a little bit more Destiny 2, building up to eventually playing Elden Ring, because y'all desperately want to see me become a Tarnished and get my ass beat by bosses 8 times scarier than me. It looks really good.
Oh, my friend, it's basically a Nurgle. It's basically Nurgle rot. Sinks into you, and then you become one with it. Even ask the Kyle over here.
Oh, yeah. I also am going to be streaming on Saturday, doing the Stellar Forge, where I do live world building with you all. So if you're interested in some of the projects I've been working on, whether that be my legacy TTRPG sci-fi setting I've been working on for like over a decade and a half, to AES, Wilds of Glaswall, which is me and Red's universe we made during Season 1 of Writer's Block last year, and that was a blast. And I'm just kind of working on that since I have, on Wednesday, I'm streaming that game, AES Wilds of Glaswall.
Let's go!
Caltrop core game, 10:30 a.m., same time slot. Right now we're down to 2 players, working on getting 3 and maybe 4, so we'll see about that. But it's a fun, quick adventure game, 10:30 to 12:45, a little more on the grim dark side. So if you like your fantasy grim and gritty and a little more primal, then I think you might enjoy it. Other than that, that's me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Omni. Much love, man. Always look forward to playing games with you, dude.
It's an honor always. Thank you.
Andy, what's up, man?
Hello, I am Andy, or Lost Haven Art, as you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and I started a Tumblr as well. Or Lost Haven Games on a few places, like Itch, where I have published my first ever rules-light game using Caltrop core. Heresy, which we play here on DMDM Studios on a Sunday for a short campaign while we take a little bit of a break from Legends of the Five Rings. It's been a lot of fun so far.
It's been a
lot
blast.
of dark, grim stuff has happened in that.
I lost a part of my pinky.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's had a lot of positive attention since I released it. So it's been all good. You can also catch me here on Twitch Haven RPG. I made the Twitch channel long before I made the Twitter account or my Instagram or anything like that. And we stream here usually on a Wednesday. We do an actual play or a review of a game that we've done a one-shot for. Also, usually stream on a Monday where it's a more chill art stream where I put on some music. I don't care about Twitch's terms and conditions in terms of using copyrighted music that day because it's not going anywhere. Don't really care about the VOD. We just chill out, we draw, I might paint minis, we put music on. There's channel point costs for picking a track. You can come and abuse me by making me listen to pop music for the whole stream if you really want to. And on a Sunday before we stream here in DMDM Studios, I do a short art stream on my channel with Ace Casanova, where we randomly generate a character design idea. We then take a week to do the line art. We swap line art over. We color each other's stuff. We talk about it. We talk about our design process, why we did X, Y, Z, why we colored each other's things in the way we did. And yeah, it's quite chill. As I said, short stream, usually about half an hour, 45 minutes, just before we jump into the actual play over here. So I've got lots of things going. My art commissions are opened. I just finished a big group D&D one today. So all my slots are back open. You can hit me up if you want to.
Get in them slots.
Get in there. Even if Twitter tells you that my commission slots aren't open, just DM me anyway. I'll make space. It's all good.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you, Andy, for running it. Much love as always, dude. Can't wait for Irizumi. That has been Path of Contrition for this month. Can't wait for next month, guys. You can find me, not me, but you can find a stream on my channel on Friday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Lord of the Rings Rangers in the North, hosted by Sarah Moore. She is a fantastic I almost said Dungeon Master, and I almost said Dungeon Master again when I was correcting myself. Game Master. She's a fantastic Game Master. Wonderful, knowledgeable, very, very, I don't know how to say the word. I guess just like accepting. I don't know. She's just like really fucking awesome person, and I stan Sarah, so definitely check that out. JJ in chat, she's been here. She plays on that actually, and that's her first AP, and I feel honored that I get to have her first AP on my channel, even if I'm not a part of it. But yeah, definitely go check that out. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is fucking rad. We are going to be raiding into Cassie Mothwind, so everybody stick around for that. Make some noise when we get in there, because Cassie is a wonderful human being that makes awesome stuff, and yeah, we love Cassie. On Saturday at 12:30 noon, you can catch me running a one-shot. We normally have Descent into Avernus the Blood War, but one of our players isn't going to make it, so I'm going to just throw together a one-shot in my homebrew setting of Ismira, with all the folks that normally play on that, so that's going to be fun. And then Covet Syndicate at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday. Irizumi at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday. And then, yeah, Nurgle was trying to get in my throat. And then Curse of Strahd, Rise of Alma on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then hopefully Homebrew Homies next Tuesday. But I'm not going to commit to it because I want to make sure that everything with my homies is cool, because I care more about my homie than my show. So, love you guys. Thank you guys very much. And I will see y'all Saturday. Bye!
Bye-bye.